Did that work? I hope that works better. Alright. Team Sonic Racing. Didn't it start off as a $40 game, so dropping down to 20 isn't that bad. Or, I mean, 29 is only, what, 25% off? Okay. So, I had no idea what to actually, like, stream today, what we were going to sit down and do. I was like, oh, maybe we'll do some, Smash Bros. Maybe I'll go take a stab at, I've been really wanting to replay, where is it? There it is. I've really been wanting to replay Breath of the Wild. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll start up that. That could be fun. But then I was like, no, I don't want to do that yet. I'm kind of, because I never bought the DLC, so I was like, maybe I'll buy the DLC and just start a new profile and all that. Definitely not that. I almost did, because we could do Gato Roboto in a single stream. That would be so easy to do. I considered Smash. We weren't going to do... That was a one-off thing that I'll probably never do again. God, maybe I finally start Into the Breach. Necrodancer. I don't know. But in the end, I was like, this show is called Splat and Chat. There's not going to be many more splatting and chatting left. There's only there's probably only one more. And then where do we go from there? I don't know. We'll figure it out. The Splatfest may die, but Splat and Chat won't. Probably. I know In Chat's going to be around for as long as I can keep it going. Oh, shoot. I got a hair in my water. Probably a beard hair. Oh, yeah, I should probably vibrate this or whatever. So, my Pro Controller broke. That sucks. It's not even broken, really. Like, just pressing up on the joystick either makes you barely move or not move at all. Nothing, it just happened. Like, there was nothing that triggered it. It just happened. It's super annoying. So, I'm using Joy-Cons. I don't even know what's going on right now. If there's, like, an event or not an event. Like, I don't know, like, what the non-Turf War stuff is. Oh, I don't think we're going to go the full 2 hours. Oh, Rainmaker. Okay, that's dumb. I don't know what rank I am in Rainmaker. I've already got that. So we did just do the Splatfest. That was... I wanted to stream Friday, but then some things came up and I couldn't. So I didn't stream Friday. So that happened. And then I didn't have time Saturday, and Sunday was Father's Day, and I couldn't do that. So yeah, that's why we're doing Monday, like, super early in the morning. Yep, nothing. But yeah, so that's kind of so that's why I didn't, like, because I originally wanted to do this on Friday, but it just didn't happen. God, I haven't played non-Splat Wars in so long. I finally was able to reshuffle the fake contacts to get the 3, ink savers, or ink recovery up, I mean. Took me forever, but I finally got that. So I now got 3 good pieces of headgear. I think a single piece of body gear. I think I tried to get this one with ink saver. Yeah. That one I haven't gotten yet. And yeah, no, that's about it. That's all the body gear I've gotten. Yep, just the one piece, and maybe I've tried. No, that's Grisco. Okay, I haven't actually tried with that one. And like this one, and that's about it. Or no, maybe I feel like I've used the bomber jacket before. I don't know where though. And then shoes, it's these ones. I thought I had these ones done as well, but I guess not. Oh, and these ones. Okay, yeah, I forgot about these. So yeah, I've got 2 good pairs of shoes. I need to get, like... I don't know what did I need for shoes? I think it's, the ink saver. I think that's what I need to get on shoes, but I don't remember which, or maybe it's just that nothing does ink saver. I don't know, there's some weird stuff in there. Maybe it was ink resist. I don't know. I went in there specifically to change my gun. I got lost in the headgear stuff. Do we even... Because I'm probably just going to play Turf War. Oh, I like that purple. I mean, I don't use half of these weapons. Yeah, I would probably just going to play some classic Turf War. I mean, I could go Rainmaker if I wanted to, but... Let's turn this on, however. But yeah, in the Splatfest, I went Team Unicorn. Unicorn. You know, I was honestly... I kind of... Like, halfway through, it was like, oh yeah, Unicorn's going to lose. But there was a moment where I was like, how did they win team members? Because whenever I did so there's like the normal and then there's the pro. Whenever I did pro, every other battle was against my own team members. So I was like, okay, we've got numbers, but we don't have, we don't have battles. Nope, that didn't happen. We lost somehow. I don't get it. I don't get how, Narwhal had the other thing. Had team member. I get winning, though. Like, because half of it went really well. Like, getting up to, Defender? That went really well. But then, like, so Defender, you need, 500? First 250 was really easy. The second 250 was a massive pain in my ass. I probably had to do that in 20-point increments. Then, going from champion to king and queen, again, I want to say the first half, and actually it went off and on. Sometimes it went really well, sometimes it went really bad. Like, that was the Splatfest for me. It wasn't like, oh, some things go well, some things go bad, hit and miss kind of thing. It was all segmented normally, which is kind of weird, but that's what happened. So yeah, this time we're going to be talking about... Ooh, I want that jacket. I don't know what ability that has, but I should take that jacket. Stealth Ink is my favorite ability. If it isn't obvious, I know I don't really use it that much, but it is. So I'm always looking for new gear with it. But yeah, so E3's come and gone. I was kind of like, oh my god, am I already too late to the E3 party? But a bunch of people put out E3 videos today. So I was like, I'm good. I'm still relevant enough. Ah, shit, I was hoping to get that faster. But yeah, so we're just doing, it's like I do every year. I have a bunch of, like, my favorite announcements, my least favorite announcements. And we're just gonna talk about each conference. I will not be talking about... I already talked about Google Stadia last Saturday. So I'm not talking about Stadia, and I'm not talking about EA just because I didn't watch EA's thing. But just to say quickly, I saw footage of Jedi Fallen Order. It looks fine. EA will find a way to screw it up somehow. They're talking about how the game's heavily inspired by, like, Dark Souls and The Legend of Zelda and all that. That's really neat. I know Dark Souls for sure. I want to say they said Zelda. That shows some potential. I don't know how good the game is actually going to be. Because, again, it's EA. They'll screw it up somehow. It's EA. But yeah, it looked fine. It looked like it could be fun. It's putting mechanics on the Force. And DICE has made good games. Like, Titanfall 2 had a great story mode, all things considered. So did I say DICE? Is it DICE or is it Respawn? I legitimately, my brain's farting. I don't remember who's making Jedi Fallen Order. I want to say it's Respawn. Oh shit, there's one up there. But yeah, so whoever's doing it, I want to say, if it's whoever did Titanfall 2, I want to say. And they have made good games in the past, so I do have faith in them. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on EA real quick. The EA conference was whatever. I think we may have lost that. Okay, there was one game that I was like, holy shit, how did we lose it? Because we had, and it wasn't like a small loss either of like a point. But it was like, it looked like we had a majority of the area, and we lost by like 10 points somehow. It was crazy. But yeah, so let's actually get into it. The first conference we started off with was Microsoft. Microsoft, I think, they're... So my big problem with E3 this year was they kept showing us games and very little gameplay. There were some that I'm like, with new ideas, I'm fine with showing off, right? You're presenting us an idea. Gameplay comes later. But like Gears of War comes out in 3 months, we got nothing. I mean, I know people did play like the new escape mode and whatnot, but that was a big problem, and that was technically a problem with Microsoft's show. And it kind of does lead to this thing of like gamers are kind of entitled, because there were a lot of good announcements. But you know, a lot of people are saying this E3 felt disappointing, and they're not wrong. But there were a lot of like big announcements for an E3 this year. And I think Microsoft hitting it, right, 60 games was a lot. But Microsoft just, with Sony not being here, Microsoft just needed to fill like a niche. Do something, right? Take advantage of the situation. Do Sony's spot and all that. I knew we weren't, I wish we had gotten, like, if they had revealed that, hey, Scarlet, guess what? We're all japing you. Scarlet's coming out this year. I think that would have been a big thing. Right? Hey, we're preemptively starting this generation this year. I think would have been huge. But they didn't do that. You know? Like, that could have been huge for Microsoft. But it just didn't happen. And I get why it didn't, right? There's a lot of logistics going behind this. But yeah, that would have been big. That would have been big. So to get some of my highlights, the Outer Wilds, or the Outer Worlds, or whatever it's called, I feel like it was a really weird trailer, admittedly. Like, this game is supposed to be, right, it's supposed to be fun. I know it's basically New Vegas without the restraints of Bethesda. But it's supposed to be a fun game, and yet this trailer took itself so fucking seriously, man. You can relax a little. People like the fun aspects of this game. You don't need to go all hyper serious on us. But that's kind of what we got from the trailer. I still think it looks good. You know, they're of no problem to me. But yeah, so, I mean, I'm still excited for the Outer Worlds. Have never played New Vegas, but New Vegas definitely has a reputation nowadays that I am more than interested in. So yeah, that was a good... God, I looked away for 1 second and I walked into the water. But yeah, so I mean, that's not a bad start. I splatted someone, I guess. So yeah, I don't think that's a bad start. Next up, we have Cyberpunk 2077. I feel like this has kind of overshadowed everything else, especially Keanu Reeves, which is huge. It looks great. Like, this is going to be a great game. CD Projekt Red has a great track record. I know they do crunch and all that, and that's a problem. Remember, the employees need to unionize. Big thing, unionize. But that's another thing. But Cyberpunk looks great. I've heard... we didn't really get much gameplay either, but we've seen gameplay in the past. I guess the gameplay they showed off, they're going to show off at PAX West, I guess, whenever PAX West is. That's in August, right? I feel like PAX West is in August. But they're going to actually show people. I've heard from people who saw the gameplay, I've heard tons of great things. Like, it looks like a great game. People have talked about it. It's probably going to be great. And Keanu Reeves is a cool, right? That's a good get. He's on a roll right now, so using him, and he seems to be taking the project very seriously. I mean, and all the potential, everything I've heard about Cyberpunk, it's going to be a great game. I'm super excited. I don't really have a console to play it on right now, admittedly. That probably won't be one I'm picking up until, like, holiday next year when I get like a PS5 or a Scarlet, or unless it's like, I don't know. I'm curious about Stadia. We'll talk about that a little bit later, I guess, with Watch Dogs. But yeah, no, I mean maybe, but it is something that does look great. Next up, Spiritfarer. This is that, like, game with it's one of the indie games they showed off with the really good art style. Microsoft had some good indie games, not as good as one of the other shows, which we'll talk about. But I do think Microsoft had some good indie game stuff. This was probably the best one. I also like that deer one. I don't remember what it's called. But that looked really, yeah, no, this game looked great. It has been confirmed that it is coming to Switch. So yeah, no, I am genuinely curious. But that'll come eventually. Just a matter of time. But yeah, no, it looks really good. Battletoads, I didn't find this out until later, but I guess people are very divisive on this game's art style, which seems kind of weird. I think it looks great. I think it's what's it called? What's that Wind Waker style thing where people are like, oh, we want a better looking art style. This looks too cartoony or too Cal Arts or whatnot. But it's gonna be fine, right? It looks good. It's gonna be fine. Somehow they go. Oh, that's troublesome. God dang it, I couldn't get that off. But yeah, so I think Battletoads looks great. From people playing it, I hear it plays okay. Right? Like, the driving stuff isn't that good from what I hear. Like, they've added a new perspective, but it's made it so much... Like, it feels like it controls a lot, like, less tight, which, I mean, is... Because you could argue the original one didn't control that tight either. But yeah, so that's... Oh, hello. But yeah, so that's kind of how that's... So that's Battletoads. I think it looks fine. It could disappoint. It could, it may not. I have hope in Battletoads. I really do. Next up, we have the last thing I got for the good. There's a ton of little things in Microsoft's show that I didn't know, like, nothing, like, bad, but also nothing that great. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, so 12 Minutes is an indie game. I guess it's been in development for years now. But it actively looks like really... It has a lot of potential. I love time travel mechanics like this. And, well, it's probably going to be only like 2 hours. It's probably going to be a really short game. If they budget it correctly, it's not going to matter. Right? If they budget this game well... Nobody's gonna care. Like, if it is only 2 hours, if they budget it as, like, I don't know, like a $10, maybe even $15 game, and it's, like, got a lot of replayability to it, I'm kind of positioning it in, like, the same position as, like, Donut County, Minute, Gato Roboto, which we will talk about a little later, because I have been playing that. I think this game could work. It looks really good. Now for the bad of Microsoft. Like I said, there's a lot of middle ground stuff that I couldn't say is good or bad. It's just kind of there. Gears of War 5. Yeah, no, Gears of War 5. That original trailer with all the faces and whatnot looked really bad. Like, holy shit, that was a bad trailer. And then they go into, like, the stage opened up and it's like, oh, what are they doing? Did they make, like, an escape room or something? And what is it? No, it's just taking us to another TV with another trailer for their new escape mode. This escape mode that they were then I guess they demoed after the show, and right, they had people there to demo it and whatnot. Yeah, that was a thing. I think Gears of War looks really bad. I have not heard good things about the fourth one. I admittedly don't know what I don't know like what I hear people are saying this actual mode who've like played it. No one even wants Gears of War. I guarantee you there are a few. But yeah, no, I heard from people who played the escape mode, it plays fine, but I don't give a shit. Like, and Xbox is like positioning it up as this thing that I just do not care for. I don't want Gears, no. It did not show well at all, and I'm super disappointed by it. And like, no, I did not care for this. But that, I don't know if that was Microsoft's lowest point, but it was up there. It was pretty bad. Like I said earlier, there was a bunch of, I don't know if it's, I feel like it's less popular nowadays, but Gears of War used to be huge. I mean, they invented the Horde mode, which Splatoon did direct, which, I mean, every game ripped off, and a bunch of them did better. Yeah, no, I mean, Splatoon even has its own Horde mode, for Christ's sake. But, I just feel like they've gotten a lot more, right? Like, eventually they had to start going for, like, the meathead demographic, and the Call of Duty demographic, and they lost it. They lost Cliff Bleszinski, who, I mean, he was big. Cliff Bleszinski was big at a time. But I don't care about Gears of War. But yeah, so CGI trailers we got a lot of. And Microsoft, they needed to deliver. This was their year, man. Sony wasn't even here. They could have just come in and swept and taken control of the show and proven, right, that they can do great things. And they just didn't do it. Microsoft just didn't deliver. It was so, like, I said, when did I say this? I think I said this on Saturday, that Microsoft was in, that, when the Xbone was revealed, it was super disappointing, right? Nobody liked the Xbone. And then, I mean, they got rid of a lot of the stupid stuff. Not all the stupid stuff would be a lie, but they got rid of a lot of it. And as time goes on, I went from, like, hating the Xbox to just kind of being like, okay, it's whatever. It's whatever. I personally prefer Sony, and I think Sony's exclusives give it a head up, especially because Microsoft has maybe one good exclusive a year. This year it was, or not even one good exclusive, just one exclusive. This year it is Gears of War. Last year it was, what was it, State of Decay. The year before that it was Halo Wars. Microsoft disappoints with its exclusives, which they really need to fix. Microsoft really needs to get their exclusives intact, and they bought up a bunch of studios, and there is some stuff in there that I guess that Overwatch ripoff, that Ninja Theory, it is Ninja Theory. Whoever made Hellblade, I guess their game is actually like it's an Overwatch ripoff, but it plays really well from what I hear, so that's good. Yeah, this was Microsoft needed to come out and be great, and they just weren't. And it kind of sets a bad mood for the rest of E3, which, with the exception of Nintendo, because we're kind of in we're in a mode right now where this console generation, I mean, you could argue the Switch is next generation console. I personally would, but it kind of feels like the Dreamcast market. Or the Dreamcast, like, not market, the Dreamcast, like, segment, where the Dreamcast came out in, like, 98, which is still considered the 5th generation of consoles, even though the Dreamcast I would consider a 6th generation. But that's here and there. So we're about to start a next generation of console, and because of that, there's not really that many games coming out, and a lot of stuff is coming out next year. It's a problem that was kind of inevitable this E3. Hopefully next E3 will be big, and that's kind of why we saw a lot of like 2020 this year. Like we saw Ori Pudding and Pie. I mean, Ori and the Wimble Bimble. And Ori and the Wimble Bimble looks great. Like, the new trailer we got this year is amazing. But we've been getting trailers for 3 years now, and it's not coming out until February of next year. That's crazy. And we didn't even get the announcement that Pudding and Pie is coming to Switch. I was really hoping Pudding and Pie was going to come to Switch this year. I didn't really care for Ori, but I'm willing to give it another chance if it comes to Switch. But no, we got nothing from it. Super disappointing, in my opinion. Like, that was something even at Nintendo's show, that was something we needed to see. That we just didn't. I'm coming back up. But yeah, that was something that was super important. That Microsoft they just couldn't deliver. But they did. I'd be lying if I didn't say they did have some good stuff in there. It's just the good stuff was a little far and few between, and they did have Cyberpunk, which is probably one of the best announcements this year, admittedly. And again, people are saying great things about it behind closed doors. Also, real quick with the Halo Infinite trailer, it did admittedly get me. I'm a fan of Halo 2. Oh god, my thing is reading me. Stupid Google. But yeah, no, Halo is, Halo Infinite, I did like that trailer. Like, that trailer did get me hyped for Halo again, which I'll admit, like I said, I liked 1, 2, and Reach. I never played 3. I haven't played 4 and 5. I have very little hope in 343 Industries. But that's not coming out until next year. That's a next generation thing. Now, admittedly, a lot of games, because Xbox is kind of marketing itself as the backwards compatible console, they have been able to take advantage of that. And, like, so a lot of, like, Cyberpunk, which feels next generation, is also going to be, next generation. So that's cool. Also, Mikey Stu 1, thanks for the host. That's cool. That's cool of you. I only played Reach. Reach I actually had a lot of fun with. I used to play, me and my friends used to play Forge mode. I think it was called Forge mode, where you could kind of like make levels and whatnot, and we just screw around for hours. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, no, I liked Halo Reach, but then Bungie left to do their own thing, which I get, but then they sold their soul to Activision, which is its own problem. Now their soul's free, and now they might be selling it to Google, which is... Google Stadia. I think we lost that. I can just tell. But yeah, so how did Microsoft do? I guess, like, if I'm having to rate them... you know, let's do a tier list. I don't actually have, like, a tier list pulled up or anything, but if I had to give them, like, a spot on the tier list... So just, it's S, A, B, C, D... Yeah, let's just do that. I think that's easy. I guess I'd put them in a solid B? I think that works. Microsoft's a solid B tier. They had a lot of good stuff, not a lot of great stuff to push them up into A tier. Cyberpunk does a lot for them, and there were some good things. I mean, I think they did a lot better than a lot of the other ones. Yeah. Next, so yeah, that's Microsoft. They're fine. I wanted more, but again, we're kind of in that weird mid-console thing. Scarlet, I don't know. I didn't expect anything from Scarlet, but that would have been so cool if we had gotten something. But yeah. Next up, the show later that night, Bethesda. At the time, I walked out of Bethesda saying, you know, that was okay. Like, there was some bad stuff in there, Fallout, and, God, what was that other piece of shit? Fallout, and a bunch of, like, mobile game crap, Commander Keen. But I was like, this is fine. Like, I got some stuff I wanted. I still kind of feel that way. I have realized Bethesda's a lot more flawed. Like, there is some bad, like, the Fallout... I said after Bethesda show that, you know, I was gonna actually see, like, Fallout 76, see how bad it truly is. I didn't do that. I actually did not... I should have talked about that. Oh, but yeah, so, like, Fallout 76 did, like, a weekend demo. I did not play it. I had no... Right, I was just like, I couldn't be bothered. So I didn't play Fallout 76. I think that free demo ended today. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, so... Bethesda show, like, if it's the... I could see it being the worst show of E3. That's... You're not wrong. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But I guess let's start off with some of the good stuff. We started off with... we ended with just Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal looks great. I am super excited for this game. It is coming to Switch. I don't think it's coming this year. It's not coming out to Switch at launch, but it is eventually. I did genuinely enjoy Doom 2016. I really want to replay it again on Switch. Any day now, it's going to drop to like $20. Because, I mean, I already own it, so, like, why buy it again? But if it drops low enough on Switch, I will buy it again. That's not going to be a hard sell for me. If it gets... Same thing with Skyrim. If either of those games ever get low enough, I will buy them again. Like I said, I think $20 is my limit. Right? And right now they're 30, which isn't bad, but it's not what I want. But Doom Eternal looks amazing. There's this multiplayer mode I really don't give a shit about. But the actual Doom Eternal itself looks great. I'm super excited. We actually got a good chunk of gameplay footage. It looks like they're putting more focus on mobility this time around, which is a great idea, because Doom 2016 did focus on mobility, but the gameplay itself wasn't there to, like, back it up as much as it needed to be. And this time it looks like they're overhauling the mobility stats, making it a lot better, adding a bunch of new moves. It looks great. Doom Eternal looks great. One of my highlights of the show. Of all of E3, really, this year. Next up, Deathloop. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier with CGI trailers, where we didn't actually get any gameplay, just the promise of, like, what this game could be. Which I think, as a promise goes, it's a really interesting... We lost this. Oh, wow. I guess we had just enough in their area. I feel like it was going to be within a point, because they had just a little bit over in ours. I thought that was going to be enough to take it. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, so Deathloop, as a promise, right? It's going to be a game where there's probably going to be two campaigns. One is the guy, one is the girl, and you're going through and you're just trying to, like, kill each other and different missions and whatnot, and it's all about this time travel thing. Kind of like, because we saw both Titanfall and Dishonored a few years ago now. Titanfall 2, I mean. They both had these, like, time travel mechanics that you could build an entire game out of, but both of those games only used it for, like, a single mission. So that's kind of like, I think they're taking those time travel mechanics and actually building entire games around them, which I do think is a really good idea. I'm actually really interested in them building an entire game around these time travel mechanics. Or even if it's not like that, if it's more like you restart at the end of every day, or if you, like, die, you reset, or just something like that, I do feel like there is a lot of potential here. Deathloop looks very interesting. Will it deliver? Possibly. It's not being done by Bethesda, it's one of the other studios, and while Bethesda themselves can't make good games, the companies that work for them, what's the other ones? The one who's doing this one, the one who's doing, right, the one who's doing all of these other games, while Bethesda themselves can't deliver, these studios can. So I do have faith. I have faith that Deathloop will... I could be good. It's a lot more than saying, like, Starfield will be good, which is honestly up in the air crapshoot at this point. Next up, we got Ghostwire. This looks great. Again, it's more of a promise, but I have faith in the team behind it. There's the one girl who the internet just fell in love with. She's worked on... I guess she created Bayonetta. Which right there, that's a good track record, right? But I guess she's basically, oh god, what's his name? Shinji Mikami's, like, prodigy? So, Shinji Mikami's done some good stuff, like, Shadows of the Damned, Resident Evil 4, tons of other stuff. So yeah, I think if they're working on this, I think they could make something really good here. I am confused on what entirely it is, admittedly, because it seems to be a horror game, because the person who did it, she also worked on The Evil Within, which is a horror game I did not really care for, admittedly. So, but it's also, like, I feel like somewhere they said it was, like, an action-adventure or something like that. I don't know. Either way, I am interested in... This is also a great thing to come out of Bethesda's show. Bethesda can't do good stuff themselves, but they can hire... They have studios working for them that can do it. That's kind of one of the big takeaways from Bethesda's conference. And yeah, that's all the good stuff. Only 3 things. What not surprised from Bethesda. And what's the bad stuff? Everything else. Like, no joke, everything else is probably the bad stuff. If I had to highlight a few, Elder Scrolls Blades / Elder Scrolls Legends, the card game, nobody gives a shit about. Nobody cares about Elder Scrolls Legends. Everybody already, and I use everybody with air quotes, has, Hearthstone. Why would they go to your game? It's the Fortnite thing. Why would you spend $20 for PUBG or for a Battle Royale mode when you can just go to Fortnite and get it for free? Right? It's a real thing. I'm starting to turn around on Fortnite. Not that I think it's a good or great game or anything, but I'm just so tired of people bitching and moaning about Fortnite. And, complaining about stuff that doesn't matter just because kids play it. I'm so tired of it. I'm kind of hitting that point of saturation where I'm, like, starting to, like, defend it and turn around on it out of spite for people who complain about it. I mean, you could argue I've hit that saturation months ago, but it's, like, it's really starting to get to me, man. I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. But yeah, so Elder Scrolls Legends, who gives a shit? Who cares? Blades is a loot box filled microtransaction mobile game. No, thank you. I said when I did my reaction to the conference that I was gonna sit down and give it a try. I just kind of forgot about it, and again, like I tried out Fallout Vault or whatever that Fallout Vault game was. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna try out. I didn't download Blades, and maybe I will once it comes to the Switch. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I hear it's not pretty, is what I've been hearing, which is to be expected from a Bethesda mobile game, because again, all these AAA studios are trying to make all this money off the mobile game market. I should have hit 3 of those guys. Yeah, so both those mobile games are pretty bad. Fallout Wastelander. Oh, they're adding NPCs to Fallout. Oh, woo, give them a standing ovation. My god. No, this should have been there at launch at bare minimum, man. I still love Joseph Anderson's theories about Fallout 76. If you have not seen Joseph Anderson's videos, it's 2 videos spanning over 4 hours, which is a long time, but they're really good videos, man. Joseph Anderson just like I don't always agree with Joseph Anderson's stuff, but God, when he hits even when he's wrong, I still feel like he hits the nail on the head sometimes. And his Fallout 76 videos, especially the 3-hour glitch one, is just great. But he's got some theories on Fallout 76, and I do think he's kind of right. But yeah, so adding NPCs and all that, nah, it's too little, too late. And I guarantee you, much like No Man's Skies, which I'm surprised they didn't show off at the Nintendo conference, because there's all these rumors about No Man's Sky coming to Switch, and that's totally something you could do. I'm amazed we didn't see that. Maybe later. Maybe later. But yeah, but where's it going? But yeah, all these, like, the 2018 is the year of the roadmap, where you release a subpar game, and then fix it with updates and whatnot. I mean, I know it's, like, because Splatoon, the first Splatoon arguably did that. They released a game with not very much content. I mean, there was more there hidden under the surface, but then they slowly dripped it out and they released more, and by the time we got to the sequel, all that content was there, so they did it a lot better. I don't know, a roadmap is an interesting idea, but AAA studios are just abusing it and making shit games with it, and then charging full price for them. Right? Like, that's how roadmaps are working in the AAA space, which is terrible. It's absolutely horrendous. But yeah, no, I'd say it's too little too late to save 76, but I guarantee you get in a few months, somebody's going to say like, oh, I had this experience in Fallout 76, and Fallout 76 is good now. Much like I've seen with No Man's Sky, and there's one other, oh, Sea of Thieves. We'll talk, God, I'll do a part where I talk about like games I've been playing, and like I'll do the news after we do Ubisoft's show. And in that, remind me to talk about Sea of Thieves. I'm actually going to write that down right now. Sea of Thieves. I knew we lost that. Sea of Thieves. Yep, that's a thing. But yeah, so I think Fallout, and then adding a Battle Royale mode. Okay. I mean, the combat in 76 is not good from what I hear. So yeah, no, that's a terrible idea. So they did a free week demo that actually ends today. Did I download it? No, I couldn't be bothered to. I kind of forgot for a little bit. And then I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, who cares? Man? Again, I've got 4 hours of entertainment from Joseph Anderson. Somebody said that Fallout 76 is the most entertaining game you've never bought. And yeah, that's pretty accurate. That is very accurate. And then another thing, Commander Keen. I guess Commander Keen was a game back in the 90s. I've seen it before, but I didn't play it at any point on PC or anything. But I know some people hold it in high regard. So seeing it reboot, it's like, okay, that's interesting. And then finding out it's a mobile game, it's like, oh god, no. They're just gonna ruin it like Bethesda ruins all these other things with shitty mobile games. No, I mean, Bethesda even said that when you make a mobile game announcement, you have to have some big announcement to follow it up. Last year, they announced Elder Scrolls Blades, but they knew people weren't going to be happy with it, so that's why we got a teaser logo for Elder Scrolls 6. Because they needed to tell people, like, hey, yeah, you may not like Blades, or because mobile game announcement, but we're working on a 6th Elder Scrolls game, so don't worry. Right? Like, that's the purpose of announcing that last year. Like, I'm not making that up. That's why they did that. They've admitted it. That's why we got Fallout Shelter the same time we got Fallout 4. Right? They combined the two announcements. But they gave us this Commander Keen thing, and then nothing. Literally, if they had just like been like, oh yeah, we're making this mobile game, but for all you people who have never played Commander Keen, guess what? We're remaking the original 3 games. That would have made, I mean, the mobile game would still be shit, but it'd make a lot of people happy. But no, they didn't even do that. Instead, they're just spitting on the franchise's grave. Yep, that's a thing that's happening. And yeah, that's kind of Bethesda's show. It was, again, I got 3 things I did like. But for the most part, nah, it's not really that good. Yeah, Bethesda's show was not really that good. And then the audience. Oh my god, like there was a lot of talk like, is the audience at Bethesda's show plants? Yeah, no, that's a fair question. Honestly, they were just clapping at every stupid thing everybody said. Like, oh my god, like I'm not surprised people thought it was plants. There was one good moment, the Keanu Reeves thing, the "you're breathtaking." Other than that, I totally get why we're doing less and less press conferences. I mean, I know Devolver Digital made fun of, like, directs this year and whatnot, but god damn it, audiences were just super annoying this year, so I get why we're doing it. I get why we're moving away from that, and the Sony State of Plays, and the Google Connects, and all that jazz. Because, god, it was bad. Oh my, and like I said, anything that did like a stage show was bad. Bethesda, Squeenix was super annoying. Microsoft had that one moment, and overall, other than that, Microsoft wasn't bad, but no, I get why everyone's moving away from live shows. I totally get it. I totally get it. But yeah, Bethesda's conference, not that good, not that good. If we rate it where I was talking about earlier on like a tier list, okay, so see, there's those 3 announcements I liked. Deathloop and the other 2, Deathloop, Doom, and Ghostwire were good, but Doom really holds it up. But I don't know if Doom is enough to get it from D tier to C tier. You know what? Let's say it is. Let's give it C tier. I do think Doom and those 2 other announcements are enough. And I know, like, as a conference goes, it probably should be D tier, because there were probably more good than there was bad. I'll admit there was probably more bad than there was good. But Doom Eternal looks so good, and I like those 2 ideas. But the audience was super... God, I am really split on this. Do I do D? Let me look at the other ones real quick. Let me look at the other conferences for a second. Let's do C tier. Let's do C tier for the moment. Sure, yeah, let's just do that. Let's call it a day right there. Next up, right after that, we got Devolver Digital's show. Devolver Digital, again, I felt like this was the weakest of their 3 shows. I felt like they still did it again. They nailed it. Their take on, like, making a corporate villain that represents all the evil of the video game industry is a good idea. Taking a stab at directs and, like, pre-recorded shows, which I get why they took a stab at it. I still think it's kind of a good idea, especially because, yeah, as a trade show, E3 kind of sucks in that aspect. But yeah, no, Devolver Digital show was great. We got that Devolver Digital bootleg, which I wanted to get, but I was like, I'm gonna buy some indie games on Switch instead. So I didn't, but it looks interesting. We got that oh god, what was that called? That Battle Royale party game. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't remember what it's called. It looks great. It looks great. I guess people demoed it. They're aiming for 100 players. I guess the demo they had only had 70. But it looks, it's the idea of like a party battle royale game, and especially coming from Devolver Digital, that's great. There's so much potential with this. I'm super interested in whatever. It's like Human Fall Flat, but it's not called Human Fall Flat. It's got another name. I don't remember what it's called. It looks great, though. We also got an Enter the Gungeon game, or an Enter the Gungeon arcade game. Of course, I mean, get arcades to buy it, but it's like $4,000 to $5,000. So this isn't really like a home consumer kind of thing. But it's cool they're making it, and I think Gungeon's a great idea to make an arcade game out of. Yeah, Devolver did, and then they ended it with a cliffhanger that they're going to do it again. When are they going to take a rip on next year? Probably the next generation of consoles? Because probably by E3 next year, we will know what the PS5 and Project Scarlet officially are. Like, they'll probably do a conference, like, before E3 that tells us about them. and then we'll just find out more. Kind of like, at least that's the presumption. I know like the Xbox One X was announced, Xbox One S and X were announced at E3, but I know like the PS4, and what's the other, the Xbone were announced at like their own little micro conferences and whatnot. So I feel like that's the right way to do it. I don't know. The next generation of consoles is going to be very interesting. And with Google, Stadia, and then I didn't even talk about Microsoft's cloud service. I hear it was, from people who tried it, I hear it was okay. Like, I guess Google's was better, but it was okay. Like, there was a little latency, but that's kind of be to expected. It wasn't unplayable. And, like, Google's was in a very, like, staged environment if you were playing it. I guess Microsoft's was more, like, freeform and whatnot. But yeah. No, Bethesda's great. Solid A tier. Solid A tier. Solid A tier conference. Yeah, no, I liked it. I liked, Devolver's great show. Great showing as always, Devolver. Keep it up. Don't fail us. Every year I'm going to be worried that, Devolver is going to fail us, and then every year they don't. What is this? Kotaku? Sometime. I'll read this later. So next up, starting the next day, we got Ubisoft's. Ubisoft. My god. This is one I also walked out more positively on, but thinking out on it, I think this one was bad. This one was pretty bad, honestly. And again, it is part of that, like, oh, we're going into the next generation of consoles thing. Like, what does this mean? How are consoles going to, like, do it? It's a real question. But Ubisoft did not deliver at all. So we started off with Watch Dogs Legion. This is the highlight of my show. This is the first good thing I have to say about it. I think Watch Dogs Legion looks great. There's some sort of catch, though. It looks far too good to be true. There's gotta be some sort of catch, some sort of twist that makes the game disappointing. My guess is microtransactions or loot boxes for characters. Like, any character can be an NPC, which is cool, but that means you could also charge money for, like, better characters, a la Shadow of War. That's, I think, a real problem and something that could potentially happen. So that's kind of my, like, that's my big worry, is, like, there's gotta be some sort of catch. Because I heard people who did get time with the game, and it actually was really interesting. Like, it worked really well. Another worry is that they're gonna make the game super grindy. Like, how I heard somebody talk about it, was like, oh, you find out this person is like, oh, you find out the 3 ways to get them. You can, like, help them get money, you can help, like, you could talk to their, like, girlfriend or whatnot, and there was, like, one other option, like, maybe they were wanted by the state, and so the choice that the guy did was to, like, help their girlfriend, but that, like, resulted in, like, its own string of things, and it's like, oh, if people don't like DedSec, they're not gonna, like, you can't just do, like, one mission for them, and they're gonna trust you, which makes sense, but it also makes the game feel more grindy, which was one of my big problems with Odyssey. Odyssey was designed to purposefully be grindy to encourage you to pay for microtransactions that made the game less grindy. It's a true fact. Google it. And, like, because Assassin's Creed Odyssey is probably might be the best game in the franchise. Might. I still love 2 and 4. But it sacrificed gameplay for microtransaction. And that was a big problem. But Watch Dogs Legion looks great. And like I was saying with Stadia, I am actually really, like, I don't have a console to play next generation games on, really. And I don't really have, like, I might get a PS4 eventually, but I'm a Nintendo guy at heart, too. But if they put, like, Watch Dogs Legion on Stadia, and I could get it maybe for, like, $25 and, like, because Google's doing, or Ubisoft's doing its own, like, paid service, which they don't need. Ubisoft, this is the same problem we're having with television. Not every company, not every channel needs its own, like, subscription service. Like, PS Now, PS Plus, Google Stadia potentially, Xbox, I would say Nintendo, but Nintendo service is a piece of shit. Not every company needs one. That's a genuine problem. I don't think I have it written down here, but that Uplay thing is technically a problem, I'd argue. But, so that's a thing that happened, definitely. But, like, if Stadia works well, and I could get Watch Dogs Legion on Stadia, and it worked fine, I'd actually be totally down for that. Because I'm a Switch guy. I don't really have anything else. My PC isn't strong enough to run. I'm actually worried about how my PC was going to do with Fallout 76. And because, I mean, that thing's poorly optimized as hell, potentially. So, yeah, no, it's a genuine concern to me. But we'll see. We'll see how Stadia ends up going, if it's good enough or not. I'm interested. But yeah, Watch Dogs Legion is my highlight. It's one of my highlights of E3. From what I heard people say about it, it looks great. And then, Gods and Monsters. Technically, this was just like an idea. It is coming to Switch, which is nice. But it's not coming out until next year. I want to say it got a release date for early next year. That'll probably be delayed. But I am skeptical about it, but I like the art style. I feel like this has a lot of potential. It's just, what are they going to do with it? That's the real question. And, like, that's a genuine, right? It's a concern. Like, hey, what is this actually going to be? Like, is it going to be like an Assassin's Creed? Is it going to be like something else? Because, I mean, it's clearly inspired by, like, while they were working on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, they got really into the Greek mythology stuff, and they're like, hey, let's make another game around this. I think that's a really interesting idea. I hope this will be good. I hope this will be good. Again, I worry about the microtransaction loot boxy stuff that Ubisoft is all aboard on nowadays, like your Activision Blizzards, like your EAs, but, we'll see. We'll see. And then Roller Champions, I heard was fine. That's like the last thing I got, I guess. I heard it was fine. Right, that's cool, I guess. Right, so cool. I mean, it's cool if it's fine. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how good it actually turns out to be. Shoot. Yeah, so, yeah, and it's basically just a Rocket League, but yeah, I guess it played fine. I'm surprised they didn't release it. Like, that totally felt like a thing that was going to be shadow dropped. There might be a demo still going on. That might have ended already. It wouldn't surprise me if that had ended already. I don't know. The bad stuff for Ubisoft is literally everything else. There were like 3 or 4 Tom Clancy games. Who is Tom Clancy, like, is he even like a real thing anymore? Or is he just like a name? I know he was a real person who made books and whatnot. But does that like even matter? Has Ubisoft desecrated his grave so much that it just doesn't matter anymore what Tom Clancy is? It's the idea of Tom Clancy and not Tom Clancy himself that matters. You know? But yeah, we got Rainbow Six Zombies, which, yeah, that's a freaking great idea if I do say so. Where are they? Let's hit that one, I guess. Yeah, no, Rainbow Six Zombies, great idea. 2 did we get 2 Ghost Recon games? Breakpoint, and then like Wolfpack or something like that? I feel like we got 2 Ghost Recon games. I don't even know anymore. Updating Rainbow Six is fine. Updating, like, some of the other things. But yeah, overall, Ubisoft's show just sucked. They are my low point of E3. Because at least Bethesda had 3 things I'm interested in. Ubisoft, I know I just named 3 things, but, like, my excitement for Deathloop is way more than it is for, Gods and Monsters. I feel like I know a lot less about Gods and Monsters. So, yeah, but Ubisoft's my low point, and they had a bunch of horrible shit. Like, one of the standouts was they're doing, like, a big Ubisoft crossover game. Okay, that's kind of neat. It's mobile. It's a mobile game. Nintendo makes this giant epic crossover with like 70 characters, and Ubisoft gets a stupid crossover mobile game. Oh my god. I mean, I know nobody else can make a Smash Bros. Trust me, Sony's tried. But oh my god. And then Just Dance was still terrible. Ubisoft show was shit. It's my D tier. It's my lowest possible tier. Yeah, I hated Ubisoft's show. Terrible. Terrible showing, Ubisoft. Terrible showing. So I have like one or two news things. A lot of these relate to E3, but I've got like a few things, and then after that we'll just come back. We'll go back with kind of funny. What are my news things? So PS4, I think the last day of Days of Play was either today or is it I think it was yesterday. Every year I tell myself I'm going to buy a PS4. For the past 3 years. Every year I talk myself out of it. This year I had talked myself out of it before E3 even started. I meant to mention this on Saturday and just completely forgot. Yeah, I want a PS4, man. I really wanted to play Spider-Man earlier this year, and I don't have a PS4 to do it, and I can't afford one, and whatnot. Well, I mean, I could. I've had money set away for years now to buy a PS4, and it either gets, I use it up for other stuff, but I always accumulate it back. I have a PS4 fund, and I just never can bring myself to do it, and this year was no different. I didn't get a PS4, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Admittedly, I didn't care for the blue one last year, and the silver one this year was just kind of okay. But I liked, it was okay, but there are tons of games, I want Horizon, I want God of War, I want Spider-Man. Plus, there's going to be a bunch of new stuff that looks really good, but I could not bring myself to buy a PS4 this year. 1 year, if PS5 has backwards compatibility, I'll probably do that. Oh my god, was it Daniel Ahmad? The analyst that I don't know why we listen to him anymore. I know people say, oh, Daniel Ahmad has got things right. I cannot name a single thing he has gotten right. I don't know a person who can name a single thing he's gotten right. I don't know why we listen to him, but we do. We do for some reason. But yeah, I guess he was saying that his predicted price point for the PS4 is $800. That's fucking insane. There's no way that's going to happen. There's no way in hell will freeze over before that happens. But yeah, so I don't know, and I probably, if I buy a PS5, it's not going to be at launch. Assuming it has backwards compatibility, I probably won't buy it until a year after launch. There's this whole thing where, never buy a console at launch, and even though I bought a Switch at launch, I mean, I knew I had Breath of the Wild. Nintendo did a good job with the Switch this first year about having things like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey coming out within the first year, Splatoon 2, whereas most other consoles have, nothing coming out the first year. The Xbox One had Dead Rising 3, Call of Duty, and that was about it. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. The Xbox had nothing coming out. I don't remember the PS4, but I feel like they had very little either. Right? Again, fact check me if I'm wrong, but most consoles don't have a good launch. I don't think the Wii U had a good launch. Of course, the Switch separated that by having a bad second year. Its third year started off pretty bad. Not terrible. I mean, Yoshi was good, I guess, from what I heard. But the Switch, right, it's the second half of the year. Mario Maker's in 2 weeks. Oh my god, I'm excited for Mario Maker. I really want to boot up the Wii U game again. I really do, but I'm no, I'm going to save it. I am going to play Donkey Kong Country again. I am sometime soon, right before Mario Maker 2 comes out, I'm going to play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I'm not buying it again on Switch, but I have the Wii U version. The Wii U version's great. It's good enough. I'm going to play it. I don't know when, but I'm going to do that. But yeah, Mario Odyssey, I'm super excited for. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later because most everything got mentioned is coming out. But yeah, so that's my thing about the PS4. I want to do it one day. One day, I swear I will. I don't know, man. And then there's, do I get a normal one or a Pro? There was a deal yesterday where you could get the Pro for the price of just the normal one. And I was like, ooh, that's tempting. That's really tempting. Next up, we got... So a lot of these stories came out around E3 and whatnot, and I could technically relate them to E3. 2 of them I will. 2 of them but yeah, the rest I'm not gonna... But, Shenmue 3, I guess at the PC gaming show, which I did not watch, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I heard it was a lot better this year, actually. Relatively speaking, but... Yeah, no, I did not care about the PC gaming show. Never do, never will. But I guess they announced Shenmue 3 is Epic Store exclusive. Epic's trying to take a monopoly on PC gaming, man. Give it some time. Give it some time. They will have it. They'll have their monopoly. Where are people? Give it some time. I swear. But, and yeah, no, I that's a problem with the Epic Store, but God, Steam needs competition. I don't like the way Epic Games is doing it, but it needed to happen. Oh, God damn it. I was hoping they were going to run around that. But yeah, so I know a lot of people are mad about this. Yeah, no, I get that. You know, I think, like, a game going, right, Epic Game Store exclusive is one thing, but, like, a Kickstarter project, in my opinion, is way worse. Because, like, this is a game made by the fans. Most of the fans are on PC. A lot of these projects promise to be played, right, in their Kickstarter, they said they were coming to Steam. So, no, making it Epic Store exclusive, no. And that's a real problem with Kickstarter. I was gonna... Oh, my God. Blood Moon, what is it, Ritual of the Night? Comes out in a week. Holy shit, that's insane. I think that's a week from tomorrow. The 25th. That is crazy. I have no idea if that's going to be any good or not. I don't think that's one of the few big Kickstarters that is an Epic Games Store exclusive. I was joking around that on Saturday, last Saturday. I keep saying Saturday, but I was not like 2 days ago, but like a week from 2 days ago, that if the Epic Game Store was around when Mighty Number 9 came out, Mighty Number 9 would have been Epic Game Store exclusive. I guarantee you. But yeah, that's I know people are mad about that, and yeah, that's completely understandable. So I'm not going to really talk about Mario Maker when we talk about Nintendo. But, so there was a lot of hubbub about, oh, you're not going to be able to play with your friends online in Mario Maker. And Nintendo's bullshit excuse was, that I would screw up the leaderboards. Then just make online play not leaderboard accessible. And it looks like Nintendo is actually going back, and they are going to be adding that. Nintendo can listen. They listened with the first Mario Maker as well. The first Mario Maker, you had to unlock everything. And while that was still in the final game, right before release, like on the day of release, they released an update that fixed that. So Nintendo can listen when they want to. And there are 2 other things that we will be talking about when we get to Nintendo's portion at the end. My fuck Nintendo moments, where we need Nintendo to listen. Well, one of them's the Pokemon Company, but it's still fuck Nintendo. One of them's such an easy... Oh my god, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, so Mario Maker 2 is getting online friend stuff. That's really cool. I'm glad they're doing that. Oh my god. So I guess, so there was this image that went out yesterday of a 4 made out of spider webs. And people are like, oh my god, is this a Sam Raimi Spider-Man? I mean, I don't think we're getting a new movie. That was never in the cards. But like a comic adaptation of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. That would be so cool, especially because the script exists, as far as I know. And, same thing with a third Mark Webb Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. I guess a script for that also existed in some way, but there's been a script of Raimi's 4th Spider-Man, and it's like, oh my god, are we getting a comic adaptation? I guess the tease they did turned out to be for like a Spider-Man Fantastic Four crossover? Maybe? Like, that's, from what I understood, that's what it was. But, like, it shows that people, because it was the top trending thing on Twitter for all day. So it shows that people want a Raimi Spider-Man comic adaptation. So we may actually be getting that, which I'd be totally down for. I need to rewatch the Raimi movies. Some people say they don't hold up at all. Some people say they're still great, or at least the first 2 are. I actually liked the 3rd one as a kid. I liked all 3 of the Raimi movies. Well, I don't really have many memories of the 4th Raimi movie. Or, I mean, the first one. I have a lot of memories of the 2nd and 3rd ones, though. I liked the 3rd one. I mean, I don't love it, but I liked it. I thought it was fine. Get hit. God. Yeah, so, hey, we may be getting that. That's kind of cool. Pokemon Home, we'll talk about later. So, I guess Konami is doing a TurboGrafx 16 mini? Okay, mini consoles are very hit and miss. For most of their life, mini consoles kind of sucked. But then Nintendo made some good, kind of expensive ones. And now it looks like, and then Sega's PlayStation 1, if it's down to $30. If it goes down $10 more, I will buy it. If it goes down, I almost bought it for $100. I'm so glad I didn't. But if it goes down $10 more, I'm going to buy it. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be it's gonna be an easy buy at $20, man. It'll happen. I'll give it 2 more months, and it'll go down to $20, and I'll buy it. But yeah, so and then Sega's got one coming out in September. I mean, it looks like they're putting a lot of care into it. I guess in the past week or so, people have played it. I haven't actually seen anyone play it, but that sound right. Like, you can judge a mini console by how its like UI is designed. So I do think this one's going to be good. I feel like people have gotten some hands-on time with this one. I feel like this one's going to be good. I don't know if I'm buying it at launch or if I'll pick it up later down the line. I don't think it's going to have the same issues as the Nintendo ones. Which, again, Nintendo eventually fixed. It only took them a few extra months. But yeah, so the TurboGrafx 16, I know nothing about the TurboGrafx 16. I know that it's not a very talked about console because, again, Sega and Nintendo were raging the console wars. But TurboGrafx 16 is definitely something that existed. So yeah, I don't know. It's a thing that's getting announced, I guess. It could be good, it could be bad, I don't know, we'll see. I don't have much faith in it. Next up is Animal Crossing again, we'll talk about that later, and no cloud saves. So I guess the last one here is Sea of Thieves. So Xbox did their Game Pass, they're bringing it to PC. And as part of it, they have Game Pass Unlimited, which for $15 a month, I don't know if you can do it on a yearly thing for like cheaper. Probably. But you get Game Pass, you get Xbox Live Gold, Game Pass, and Game Pass for PC. They're starting it off, I don't know if it's just like an exclusive thing for this week or for coming up, but it's a $1 for the first month. I guess you could also get Game Pass for a $1 for like 3 months, which is not a bad deal. But I was like, you know what? I'm curious. I'm going to pay $1 to get just to try it out and see what this Game Pass thing is all about. I don't even know why I exited out the menu there. So yeah, I'm actually really curious at what Game Pass is going to be. So I had to update my computer last night, but I downloaded it on Windows. I paid the $1. And so, who knows? It might be... I'm going to try it out. I want to try... They have Slay the Spire on there, which is really cool. I've been considering getting that on Switch, so I'll try it out on PC. But the big one, I'm interested in Sea of Thieves. I heard Sea of Thieves. I was kind of interested at launch because I like pirate games. I'm amazed we got nothing of that pirate game at Ubisoft. That must have gotten delayed or something. Because that was actually one of the few games I was interested in. Because I liked Assassin's Creed 4. Unless Black Flag just came out at... Or what was it called? Skull and Bones? If that just came out at some point and like Ubisoft like stealth dropped it, and because it wasn't very good, that wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think they did. But yeah, so I like the idea of pirate games, and it's Rare. I know current Rare isn't old Rare. Like, the current staff at Rare is like a completely different staff because most of them left. Almost all of the original staff left. But it's still like a general, right? I'm still curious to see what Sea of Thieves is. I've seen some fun stuff from Achievement Hunter. So sometime in the next like few weeks, unlike Bethesda where I said I was going to do it, but I didn't want to install their stupid Bethesda launcher. This one I've already installed the launcher and all that. So I'm going to try out. I'm going to try out Sea of Thieves. Hopefully it'll run fine on my computer. Hopefully. God, I don't know. Oh God, I didn't think there was somebody there. But yeah, so that's my whole Game Pass story. Games I've been playing. You know, what have I been playing recently? Have I? Okay, I was like, how long have we been going? So, I picked up, I think I talked last week, I picked up Gato Roboto, Devolver Digital. It's a it's like a Game Boy style Metroidvania where you play as a cat. Really fun. I got it, I think it's $8. Yep, I think I 100%ed the game in like 4 hours, which is technically longer than it took me to beat like Donut County or Minute. So yeah, no, I think, I want to say those two games were $10. So I think both. So I think Gato Roboto, if you're at all interested in Metroidvanias, well, I still recommend picking up Hollow Knight because Hollow Knight is cheaper. Well, Hollow Knight's like $15, but it's like 1,000 hours worth of content. Even though you can totally get Hollow Knight on sale right now for like $10. Like, I'm not joking. Hollow Knight is seriously that cheap right now. Like, you can, or maybe Hollow Knight could even be like $8. I think Nintendo and Xbox's sales end today. Also, it's on Game Pass as well, Hollow Knight, so more than worth your time. But I think that ends today. So yeah, pick up Hollow Knight. It's more than worth your time. Great game. But yeah, so that's what we got from, so I played Gato Roboto, I beat it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. There were 100%ing it was interesting. There were some. I'm glad I did it. Like, again, it maybe took like an extra hour to 100% everything. A lot of it was very natural. It's a well-designed game. There's some color palette stuff that's pretty interesting. I liked it. I liked Gato Roboto. God, where is everybody? They were behind me. Of course they were. But yeah, no, that was pretty good. So Nintendo's doing their sale right now, and I'm like, I'm gonna pick up a few things. I know. Hey, what's up? I know Cadence of Hyrule came out, but I don't really like rhythm games. So I was like, I'm not going to pick up Cadence of Hyrule yet. Instead, what I did was I picked up the original Crypt of the Necrodancer. I'm going to play Crypt of the Necrodancer. If I don't like it, I'm probably not going to pick up Cadence of Hyrule until it goes on sale for like $10. But I might consider picking up, but I'm going to play Cadence of Hyrule first. Like, that's what I need to know. I need to know how good that is. Well, I've heard it's good, but it's a rhythm game, and I don't like rhythm games. So we'll see. I'll find out. I haven't played it yet. And then I like to pick up indie games in batches. So the other one I picked up is Blossom's Tale. And yeah, Blossom's Tale, I was really curious about this jacket. Okay, that's Toka. Okay, whatever. That's why I exited out to the menu real quick. So Blossom's Tale is like I remember hearing about it when the Switch like first launched and they were talking about indie games and the developer was like, our game didn't really sell that well on Steam, but it sold great on Switch. So that got me curious and it's been on my wish list ever since then. But I was like, it's like $10. Screw it, I'll pick up Blossom Tale. I'm like, I've only played it for like 3 hours. And yeah, no, it's pretty good. There are some things I do have problems with. I don't like how the game's handled potions and fairies. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, potions are very rare, and fairies are even rarer, but there's no real way to, like, replenish them, which is kind of annoying. Like, I wish there was a system to do that in the game itself. But other than that, I think Blossom's Tale has been pretty good so far. Again, I need to play more of it. Hopefully I'll beat it sooner or later. But yeah, no, so far I'm liking it. I'm still very early in it. It seems kind of short, potentially. Like, it feels like a shorter game. But yeah. And that's all I've been playing. I considered picking up Xenoblade, but I didn't do that. There were a few games I considered picking up playing, but I haven't done yet. My back has been killing me. For no good reason, I might as well say. Like, I don't know, it started with my leg, and then it went to my back. Like, and it doesn't hurt when I, like, lay down or stand. Only when I sit. It's really weird. I don't know, I mean, that's only been going on for, like, a day or two, but it's had me laying down a lot. I've been watching Game Grumps play Mario Maker. Yeah, no, I really, like, I've seen a few of their Mario Maker stuff. I really should have caught up, man. Game Grumps Mario Maker is pretty... There's some funny stuff. Sometimes it's infuriating, but I mean, that's to be expected. They're playing hard levels. But I've been in a Mario Maker mood. Between them... Well, it originally actually all started with Siev Gaming, who does some great... If you're at all interested in Mario Maker, I recommend Siev. He's got some great Mario Maker content. Oh god, how did I miss that guy? But yeah, no, so overall, yeah, I'm excited for Mario Maker. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And yeah, that's really all I've been playing and watching and whatnot. I don't think I've been doing it. I've been busy with E3. God, I need to finish Star. Like, I need to start that up again. Maybe tomorrow. Probably not until... I probably won't get anything out until Friday. I've been so lazy. Ooh. Ah, goddammit, I was hoping to get that guy before that one. I don't know, we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, so let's get back to it. Next up, right after Ubisoft show, was the Kinda Funny game showcase. This one was great. I feel a lot of people aren't talking about this one. It was great. If you're at all interested in indie games, they showed off like 60 indie games. There's something for everyone in it. Just go. It's on YouTube. YouTube.com/kindafunny. I've kind of been getting into Kinda Funny, right? Like, I started watching them after the Let's Play Spring Break, but I didn't really get into them until they started doing MCU in review. Well, I mean, they may have been doing MCU in review, but like that's the show that got me into them, and then I feel like I didn't watch them for a while, but then I kind of got into them again last year. Or there's something weird there. Like, I feel like there's a gap there, but I can't quite name it. But I watched a lot of Kinda Funny's E3 coverage this year. I recommend it. Like, some of the stories I've told about, like, the Watch Dogs one do come from Kinda Funny and what they've reported on. Some of them don't. But yeah, no, Kinda Funny stuff was... They did a great indie showcase. There's an indie game for everyone in there. Great showcase. I don't even have anything bad highlights. The good ones are Refactor, which was, I think, a Metroidvania like Tetris, which is weird, but I kind of love that. Demimaginate and Battle Wake were two VR games. I don't have a VR in any way. One, Demimaginate was like a puzzle game that like graphically didn't look that great, but I was interested in it. And was Battle Wake a pirate game? It looked really good either way. After Party, I think we also saw at Microsoft's show, but it looked really good. Etherborn, I don't remember. There's a lot of again, Kinda Funny, youtube.com/kindafunny. You can find it all there. But Etherborn looked good. The Gardens Between looked good. Superliminal looked good. Crisis Tale is, I want to say it's like an RPG. I heard somebody say that was like one of their highlights of the year. There was like a demo, I guess, that came out that was amazing. So yeah, I guess and those were just a few things that interested me. I admittedly can't remember what like 3 of those were. But yeah, Kinda Funny had a great showing this year. Technically, they did their first showcase back around the Game Awards, but with PlayStation not being here, they kind of swept in. I think they did a great job. They're a great place for indie games. Do it again, Kinda Funny. S tier. I'm giving Kinda Funny... You know, I've kind of been debating... Like, some of these things I'm debating, like A tier, or... Like I'm between 2. Kinda Funny, I'm giving the S tier to. They did a great job showing off indie games. They cut all the fat, right? They did a great press... They did a great conference. Kinda Funny did a great job. I am admittedly a little biased because I do enjoy Kinda Funny stuff. I really do, but I think Kinda Funny did a great job this year. It's a 40-minute thing, 60 games. It's definitely worth your time if you didn't. It's all on youtube.com/kindafunny. Go check it out. It's great. I mean, I am biased because I love indie games as well. That's what's putting them so high on my list as well. But they just did a great job. I can't stop praising them. So let's move on. Next up, we had Squeenix. A lot of people love Squeenix. I'm not I had to admit to myself in the December of 2017. If you care to know why, there's a certain game that came out in December of that year that kind of coincides with this realization that I don't really like JRPGs. I mean, I like the idea of the JRPG. The problem is I just cannot get into them. Whether, like, there's a few exceptions. Dragon Quest IX, Pokemon. I never really considered Pokemon an RPG, but it is, so I guess that one counts. Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door, Xenoblade Chronicles, right? There's a few here and there, but for the most part, RPGs are, I don't like them, and I don't like turn-based combat and all that stuff. Still need to play Persona 5. I swear I'll do that one day. But yeah, so this is Square Enix marketing their JRPGs to people. And as someone who doesn't really care about JRPGs, it didn't really do that much to me, but if you do, this was a great showing. There were tons of great things here. There were some problems, admittedly, but I think there was a lot of good stuff here. Some highlights, Final Fantasy VII. So I don't know about, like I said going in that, I'm worried about Final Fantasy VII. I do not know if it's going to be, right, as good as we're all making it out. I'm waiting until March 3rd, when people have it in their hands. Then I'll, like, people I care about I'll listen to, but until then, I'm skeptical. Final Fantasy, however, seeing it and seeing them play it, and from what I've heard people talk about it, I was kind of, by the end of Final Fantasy showing, if you see my live reaction, I kind of say it, that I'm very skeptical, but by the end, it won me over. I'm interested in it. I've never played Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, no, I think it was a good showing. I'm genuinely interested. I do find it fun. So I guess in Donkey's E3 video, he said that Final Fantasy VII is, like, stupid, like Kingdom Hearts. Which, you know, I guess a lot of people wanted to cancel him after that. I only saw people complaining about people canceling Donkey. I never actually saw anybody say they wanted to cancel him. Oh my god, my voice. Give me a second. But with that being said, I mean, he's kind of right. I mean, I think saying it's as bad as Kingdom Hearts is a little overblown, and Donkey's not always right about RPGs. I've seen his Octopath Traveler video. It's pretty bad. But I do think he has a point. Like, I thought we all kind of agreed. Final Fantasy VII is kind of a mess. I mean, it's a lovable mess. It's got a lot of great things going to it. But it's also kind of a mess. I thought we all kind of knew this. We still love it. It's still one of the greatest, even though I like 6 more. I never played 7, but I like 6 more. But no, I mean, I knew there's always going to be some shills, but God, to get Donkey trending on Twitter just because he said he didn't... Oh my God. The internet's insufferable. The internet can be insufferable. I do want them to use that power, and sometimes... Well, I don't think they're using it, like, in good ways. They can do good things with the Mario Maker RPG, online stuff. The 2 things we'll talk about later with Animal Crossing and Pokemon. Again, they're doing horrible things, but I think they're doing it for, like, good, right? Like, good intentions. Well, I mean, they don't understand how to make games, but, But yeah, so yeah, Final Fantasy VII, I thought it was great. There was a bunch of RPG stuff that I just don't really care about. Again, that kind of puts it in the middle for me. It's kind of like Microsoft. There was a lot of stuff I just didn't care about. For somebody who knows what they're talking about, there's a lot of hype stuff in there, but for me personally, I mean, there was some cool stuff. Final Fantasy VIII getting remade is awesome, because there's all these rumors that the source code was lost, and all these other things, but to seeing them actually getting, or something about the music as well, but to see it actually getting remade is kind of a big deal. I'm actually really happy this is happening. Because I guess Final Fantasy VIII is what you'd call a cult classic? How did I fall off? Oh my god. So, for people who want it, it's cool to finally see it's getting remade. Maybe I'll give it a chance. I need to buy Final Fantasy VII on Switch. One day I promise I will. Because I don't have a PS4 to play the remake, so... But it's on Switch. One day I promise I'll do that. But yeah, and there were, like, The Last Remnant HD got announced, but I don't know anything about The Last Remnant, so why do I, right? I have no reason to care. Trials of Mana, they saved... The one thing I did know, Trials of Mana, they saved for Nintendo show, which is a thing that happened. Yeah. And then the other thing, which... So, I don't really have any lowlights for Square Enix. Well, the only low light, I have one more highlight, but we'll kind of talk about that one because that one's complicated. Is my one low light is that Outriders game, which is basically if Square Enix made Destiny. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in that at all. Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Nice idea, maybe a nice idea, but yeah, no. Nah, I'm good. I am good, thank you very much. That's kind of my only lowlight. Again, it's mostly a lot of stuff I don't care about. My other highlight, which is kind of might be a highlight, also might be a lowlight, Avengers. I'm excited for Avengers. A lot of people are complaining about the character designs or the art style, that it's too MCU-like, but without, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is clearly taken on the comics. But this is clearly based on the MCU, but it's, like, it also looks different. I think that's a good thing because it's giving it its own identity, but a lot of people don't. I think, in the end, I think me and people who think like me that, hey, taking your own identity is better than trying to, like, rip off, then, like, just, like, being like, hey, this is a direct thing of the MCU, or this is, like, our reimagining of the MCU or whatnot. Trying to be your own thing is gonna win out in the end. But a lot of people are like, oh, maybe they should have done a more cartoony thing, right? Separate themselves from the MCU. But we didn't really get an MCU-based game, so I do think it's a good idea. I do. Whether the game's good or not, I don't know. We didn't get any gameplay. They totally could have shown off gameplay if they wanted to. We didn't get any, they were more focused on DLC and loot boxes not being in it, which, what's the twist? There's always going to be a twist. Is this a live servicey? They're already teasing a roadmap with Hank Pym. They were more focused on pushing out their roadmap than they were showing off gameplay. I guess they did show off gameplay behind closed doors, which we'll talk about. But the idea of the Avengers game, I'm super interested in. The actual game itself, I don't think is actually, like, from what people are saying, I don't know. I wish they had actually shown it off. That would have been a big thing. Especially giving it a May release date. Okay, I can do one more battle. Like, if they're giving it a May release date for next year, we should have been able to at least seen something. I mean, we've seen stuff of Cyberpunk, at least. And that's what? That's the month before? My worry is that they weren't too confident in the game. Which, I back that up, because everyone I have heard who's played it did not like it. Like, there were some things that, I guess Black Widow played well, Captain America played well, Hulk played okay, but for the most part, people have not been very positive on this. I guess it's a lot more quick-timey and whatnot than people wanted. They're very, like, they're saying, oh, it's a game that you can play both by yourself and online. Like, they're not saying whether it's, like, a single-player or a multiplayer game. They're hinting at the multiplayer, don't get me wrong. Like, it's going to be a mix of both. But how it's going to be a mix of both, they're refusing to explain. Which is not a good sign. But yeah, I heard gameplay wasn't that good. Like, there's a boss fight, I guess, in the demo they showed off. Nobody could actually play it, which that's kind of a trend in E3 demos this year. Cyberpunk wasn't playable. Oh god, I saw that coming. Cyberpunk wasn't playable. I guess Final Fantasy was playable, and there was Watch Dogs. Those demos were playable, but like a lot of stuff didn't have playable demos this year. Just people like showing it. But yeah, so is this going to be good? I don't know. I hope it's good. I do hope it's good. But from what everyone's saying so far, it doesn't seem like it. So is this good? Is this bad on my ranking? I don't know. And yeah, that's all I got. Again, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of JRPGs in Square Enix's show that while I'm glad they showed them, I just don't care about them. It's not my style of game. So where do I rank Bethesda's show? Or where do I rank Square Enix's show? In my tier list, I guess I'm gonna have to give it, Final Fantasy VII was great, but but so was Cyberpunk, and I don't know if that got a B tier. I put Microsoft at B tier, but I know there was a lot of JRPGs I didn't care about, but that doesn't mean it was a bad showing. A lot of people seem to be putting Square Enix's show at the very top, which doesn't surprise me. But I don't know if it's... But this is my tier list. These are my opinions. Let's... And then there's all that stuff... Oh my god, look at that guy. Oh my god, he must really care about his refill stuff. So, is it... Where do I put it? Where would I put it? Personally, I think probably... I know some... I don't think it's getting any lower than B tier for anybody. But personally... You know... Oh god, Let's screw it, let's give it... Let's give it A tier. Screw it, that puts it in A tier along with, who else's show? Devolver's show, I think I put in A tier. Screw it, yeah, let's put it in A tier. I guess I'm fine with that. Again, there were a lot of JRPGs I didn't care about, but me not caring about it technically doesn't harm the show, but this is my personal list. And I kind of think, like, personally, it'd probably be B tier for me, but Final Fantasy showed well, and I have hopes for Avengers, even if it didn't, I guess it's not that great right now. Like, I guess the people, like, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, the people who made Avengers were, like, looking at Spider-Man and were like, oh shit, why aren't we doing this? Now, I'm not saying they did that, but that's, like, the joke speculation. Oh my god, my throat. Yeah, let's put it A tier. Let's put it in A tier, and that leads us to our last conference, Nintendo. Oh my god. Oh my god, my throat, man. Oh my god. I feel like I've been screaming for the past hour. Nintendo. This was Nintendo. Like, after Microsoft didn't... dropped the ball, I think is too strong of a word, but after Microsoft showing was kind of this was Nintendo's E3 to lose. They didn't lose. They did not lose E3. Nintendo did a great job. They started off with the hero, which I feel like a lot of people are complaining about the hero that, oh, he's not, like, good enough. Again, the hero isn't for... If you don't think the hero's, right, like, oh, that's not that great, the hero isn't for you. He's for Japan. For the people of Japan, right, who do genuinely care about him. I guess the hero's reveal trailer is the most watched reveal trailer of any Smash Bros. Character. Good for him. The hero's not for you. It's for Japan. Even though I am excited that people do care about him, the hero, Erdrick, the Luminary, whatever. And I guess there are people in Japan who care about Banjo, and I know for a fact there are people in the West who care about Dragon Quest. I think the hero's a great addition. What I like about the DLC characters is that they do weird stuff with them. Cloud's Limit Break, Bayonetta, all of Bayonetta's real quirks. Corrin has some stuff, I guess. Ryu's whole move set, like his whole being able to do combos and whatnot, right? Like set up the moves, right? There's a lot of gimmicks, and I think the hero's gimmick looks really interesting. And I think Banjo might have a gimmick. There's like, you see the feathers at one point, and I'm like, I think that's a gimmick, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. There's probably some other, the Inkling's ink gimmick, and then there's Incineroar kind of doesn't really have one. I mean, you could argue Bayonetta doesn't have one. There's one character I'm forgetting who has an interesting gimmick. I don't know. But I think the hero was a good thing. Luigi's Mansion looks great. A lot of people, like, they showed it off at the treehouse. It looked really good in the treehouse, right? It looked good. It seems to be going back to the traditional style, or at least kind of like a mix. They're bringing back portrait ghosts in, like, some form or another. Like, we've seen, like, 3 so far, like a cop, a knight, and then, like, some sort of lady. You're just a lady. What is that from? You're not great. You're just a lady. That's from That's Wind Waker or something. You're not good. You're just a lady. What is that? Is that... God, that's gonna annoy me. You're just a lady. Is it Wind Waker? It's gotta be Zelda something. You're just a lady. I don't know. It sounds like I'm rambling like crazy things. You're just a lady. Just a lady. It's somebody... Maybe it isn't Wind Waker. Maybe it's... I was thinking it was Tobberpaw, but that doesn't seem right. You're just a lady. It's somebody insulting somebody else, just saying like, you're not great, you're just a lady. I want to say, is it like an animated Zelda thing? Like somebody did like an animation of Zelda and was like, you're just a lady. I don't know, that's gonna drive me crazy. You're just a lady. God, that's gonna drive me crazy. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion looks great. I'm super excited for it. We don't have a release date. The speculation is October. Okay, good speculation. I totally, getting it out with Christmas, or with Halloween. Is that Game Grumps? Is that Game Grumps the, you're just a lady. God, that's gonna drive me crazy. Just a lady. Oh my god, it is Game Grumps. It's Game Grumps, Link Between Worlds. They're talking to Impa, and it's like, and they're like, Zelda's like crazy, and she does the thing where she, takes off her bra without, taking off her shirt. And Impa's like, oh, you shouldn't give away the spiritual stone. And Zelda's like, you're just a lady. Yep, that's what I was thinking of. I knew it had something to do with Zelda. Oh my gosh, I figured it out. Oh gosh, if I only had waited a second longer. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion looks great. Link's Awakening looks amazing. I feel like a lot of people have finally been won over by the art style and whatnot. Link's Awakening is going to be great. We got a September release date. Super excited. We got a new, like, it's not online, but it's like some sort of like dungeon builder, which looks super fun, right? A dungeon builder seems like a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be like a pre-made dungeon builder. We also got an amiibo, which is, okay, God, another one. I want to be free. I want to be free so bad. But I'll never be free. I'll never be free. I want to be free. 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 From here. There's my terrible singing voice. My voice is starting to give out. I've been screaming for like 2 hours. Smash Amiibo. Oh god, tons of Amiibo, like a bunch of Amiibo. So like we've got Amiibo coming out in July. Oh my god, that was close. That was within 0.5. But on top of that, like Snake, Ivysaur, Squirtle, and like one other thing went up on Amazon. Which, oh god, I'll worry about that. We don't even know, and we don't even know when the Shovel Knight Amiibo are coming out. August. I'm calling it right now. Shovel Knight King of Cards, the 3 Amiibo, and maybe even the Gold Shovel Knight are coming out in August. We'll probably get an announcement next month. I'm calling it right now, though. That's totally happening. But, so yeah, next up, Link's Awakening looks great. Super excited. Witcher 3, I've talked about, right, Cyberpunk looks great. It might, for a lot of people, it's the game of the show. Yeah, I don't know if I have a game of the show, really. I don't know. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But we got The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. There are admittedly some graphical downgrades, but that was to be expected. But overall, it doesn't look that bad. It still looks pretty good. I saw some side-by-side comparisons, and admittedly, while they were just stills, they didn't look that bad at all. I've heard tons of great things about The Witcher 3. Super interested. This one I might pick up. Like, especially if I'm not getting Cyberpunk next year, I may just pick up this instead. Because I've heard so many great things about it. It looks great. I'm so glad to see it actually come into Switch. That's so cool. That's so cool. And especially because I want to say, back in the day, CG Projekt, or during the Wii U era anyways, I remember CD Projekt Red specifically calling out Nintendo. So it's cool to see them actually working together. I know they weren't the only company that called out Nintendo, but I know they did. Like, I know that was a thing that happened at some point. Next up, let's I'm gonna save that for last. So let's talk about Banjo-Kazooie. Let's talk about Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie in Smash is awesome. I've never played a Banjo-Kazooie game, but he represents this legacy Nintendo character. He also represents this collaboration between Nintendo and Microsoft. It's everything right? It's everything you want from Smash Bros. It's all this legacy, but it's all this newness. I don't know, people always say that, oh, Smash Bros. Is about legacy characters. But then you have characters like Corrin and Robin, who are in much newer games. I mean, I get Robin. Robin actually has a big, important place. Robin, Lucina, and... I feel like they didn't need Chrom, but they added in Chrom anyways, because, you know, they kind of said they were going to one day. Robin and Lucina, though, I think are great. Or at least Robin. Robin's a great fit, anyways. And as an Echo Fighter, I'm fine with Lucina. And if we got Edelgard as a DLC character in Smash 4, while I know tons of people would hate it, I'd be fine with it, because at least she's not a sword wielder. She's an axe wielder. I like Robin because he's a magic user. I like Corrin because she's a dragon. Yes, they have swords, but that's not what makes them, right? That's not their sole personality trait. Their personality is more based around magic or sword fighting and whatnot. Or magic or dragoning, I mean, not around sword fighting like Marths 1 through 7. I don't know, and it really pisses me off when people, like, clump them together by saying, like, oh, Robin is just Marth 5. Robin plays completely differently than Marth. Technically, I mean, all of them play a little differently, all the Marths. But, like, you know, when I say that, you know what I mean. But yeah, no, I think Banjo is a great addition. Super happy to see Banjo here. Super happy. But we'll see. We shall. But release date. I'm expecting the hero, the Luminary, Erdrick, whatever we want to call him. I'm expecting we may have one that maybe. Yeah, I'm expecting Erdrick to come out next month. Which you may say, why didn't they announce that? Because they're going to do a Smash Direct where they specifically go over him and his stage and whatnot. Not even a Smash Direct. We're just going to, one night, we're going to find out, hey, guess what? Erdrick's in the game tomorrow. Much like they did with Joker. No big, like, fanfare or anything. It's just going to kind of be like, hey, guess what? He's coming tomorrow. I bet that's going to happen sometime in the middle of July, maybe August. Banjo is going to be in September. Link's Awakening is September. Dragon Quest XI's is September. I may pick up Dragon Quest XI's. I'm not sure. I kind of want to, because I like Dragon Quest IX. Dragon Quest IX is one of my favorite RPGs. It's one of the only RPGs I like. But I don't know if I want to pick up 11. Like, that's a $60 investment for a game I may not like. I might. I'm mulling it over. I may wait until, like, a price thing or, like, a sale or something like that. But I'm genuinely curious. I saw there was this whole thread on Twitter that was like, hey, like, oh, if you're interested in Dragon Quest, here's a thread on how to play all of the games. And it like really made me like, it really got me like interested and pumped up into Dragon Quest and like hearing people talk about their love of Dragon Quest. I was like genuinely interested. Yeah, no, Dragon Quest looks great. I'm amazed the maps haven't rotated. Have I really? I mean, I guess I haven't been going for 2 hours, but I feel like the maps should have rotated by this point. Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, Banjo looks great. I'm super excited. Again, there's that whole feather thing that I think maybe Banjo's like gimmick, which is super interesting. I love it. I love the trailer. The only way I think they could have made the trailer even crazier, this was never going to happen, is, okay, same setup, right? They do that, they build up Banjo-Kazooie, and then Duck Hunt comes out, and he does the whole laugh, but instead he gets shot out of the sky, and then Donkey Kong, K. Rool, and whatever turn around, and surprise, there's Master Chief. And Master Chief's in the game instead of Banjo. That would have been the craziest thing. That was something I thought of a few days ago. I was like, that would have been the only crazier thing than Banjo, is if that's how they did Master Chief. God, could you imagine that? I'm actually totally on board with Master Chief being in the game. Some people, I made a thing saying that, oh, Banjo represents Microsoft. And I got a few people complaining that, no, Banjo is technically, right, most of his career is on the N64, he's a Nintendo character. Which, I mean, they're kind of right, but I'd argue, Banjo's been owned by Rare for almost 20 years now. He's a Microsoft character. He is technically But yeah, you know, if they put Master Chief in the game, if they give us another Microsoft representation with Master Chief, so we got 2 Microsoft representations, even if they made all 3, which I still am predicting Doomguy. I think Doomguy as a PC representation is a great choice. I'm predicting that still. But if we got 2 Microsoft representations with Banjo and Master Chief, one for Nintendo fans, one for Microsoft fans, I'd be so down with that. Because a lot of people are asking, like, because Erdrick, the hero, the Luminary, kind of felt like underwhelming when compared to Banjo or the Joker. But how do you top Banjo and the Joker? Master Chief, Doomguy. I think Doomguy is the one I want. My God, I think if they can implement his glory, like, from a character standpoint, it makes sense. But also from like a gameplay standpoint, implementing the glory kill mechanic, where like, so let's say he has like and it's not going to be glory kill, but like the idea behind the glory kill, where like the glory kill always gives you more health, but this time like Doomguy has limited ammo. But if you do a glory kill, it refills all of your ammo. I think mechanically that is very interesting. So like you can play at a distance, but once you get to a certain point and you run out of ammo, you then have to move in and play a close game. That's super interesting as a character, in my opinion. I really want that. Other than that, Ryu Hayabusa's been one I've heard a lot of talk about. I don't think that's actually going to happen, but I could see that. And I still wanted Shovel Knight. It's not going to happen. Hollow Knight's not going to happen. Shantae's not going to happen. Probably not. Out of all of those, Shantae has the most, like, chance. Either that, or I still want Quo from Cave Story. He is the OG indie character, considered, like, the first one. I think he'd make a fine choice. But that's just me. That's my Smash speculation. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. What else? What else we got from Breath of the Wild 2? Did not see that coming. I was expecting a Mercury Zelda game, which I still think that's happening. I still think a Mercury-led Zelda game is happening. Eventually. But that's what I was expecting. So to see Breath of the Wild 2 is so cool. I've seen a lot of, like, that's Ganondorf, right? Like, they don't say it is, but it's speculated that that's it. And then there's this whole thing of, is Ganondorf the hero because of a tapestry and the original Breath of the Wild that doesn't look like Link? It's a genuine question, right, that people have had, and now it looks like we're getting answers. I'm so interested in this. Whether it's just, like, I don't know if they're going to be going back to Hyrule. There was this thing where it's like Breath of the Wild, I guess. The Breath of the Wild 2 has taken inspiration from Red Dead Redemption 2, which is super fascinating. I'm so excited for this. Next year, you know, depending on the fact that we got some sort of, like, I know we got some sort of trailer for Breath of the Wild, and that didn't come out for another, what, like 5 years? 2014, 2015, 2016... so what, 4 years? 4 years? 4 or 5 years? Breath of the Wild didn't come out for a while, but the fact that we got some sort of trailer makes me feel like it might be 2020. I'm expecting 2021. It's going to be either March or holiday season 2021. I feel like, and if it's not, I could also see us get, if it's March, I could totally see us getting a Mario Odyssey in 2021 as well. I feel like if they announce that next year, at like the Breath of the Wild reveal this year, if the next year reveal is Odyssey 2, I would not be surprised. But it looks like we're going back to Hyrule, we're doing a lot of the same things again. At least that's what it looks like, so assuming that wouldn't take that much more. I mean, of course they're going to redux a bunch of the areas, but I can totally see, right, if this game comes out in 2020, I would not be surprised. I'm not expecting it, but a 2020 release date isn't surprising to me. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. 2021 at the earliest, but we'll see. But this reveal was great. It was, I mean, it was like, oh, we got Banjo. Oh, what a cool end game announcement for Nintendo. Right, final one more thing. And then it's like, nope, guess what? Our one more things have one more things. That's crazy. Like, seriously, that is crazy. Right. That was so cool. The Breath of the Wild announcement was great. There's one, so, you know, let's do the bad stuff first. Because this is both my, like, I have one more good announcement. You know, screw it, let's do the good announcement right now. Let's do it, Animal Crossing. Okay, this looks great. I'm super excited. I'm glad they're doing something different. Right? Because much like, look at what happened with Kirby. Kirby's kind of at a stalemate right now. Kind of like where it was after Amazing Mirror. I mean, yeah, there were still places to go, but it kind of is at a stalemate. But, I mean, New Leaf kind of did all these great things. Where do you go from there? You go back to the basics. You do something new. Looks like we're getting survival crafting elements. But it's still Animal Crossing, right? You've still got all that, but it's all these new ideas as well. It's genuinely interesting to see what they're going to do with Animal Crossing. I'm so glad. The release date, I'm fine with a delay. Like Doug Bowser said in an interview that the game was being delayed, so that way they didn't have to crunch developers. That, I mean, I was already fine with the delay. That sold it 100% more to me. I think Animal Crossing releasing in like November or December is very weird. Because I consider that a fall game. Especially with this one taking place on like, or not a fall, I mean a spring-summer game. So, this taking place on like a desert island is kind of weird. Or deserted island, I mean. But it coming out in spring, I think that'll take a lot more advantage of the desert island mechanic, right? And you'll work your way toward, you won't start off at winter. Well, let's do some climates. But you'll eventually get to winter, right? It'll take time, but you'll eventually get there. I'm fine with that. That's cool. The gameplay they showed off at the treehouse looks great. There's so many mechanics I had wanted. The yard one. Happy Home Designer introduced the idea of like a yard, and I wanted to see that come back. The idea that you can place any item outside of your house, great. Paths. Before you always had to like create a stencil that looked like a path. Now you can just make a path. That's great. There's tons of other minute things and tons of things we don't know about that I guarantee you will find out about closer to release. But overall, I'm super excited to see where this is going to lead. Like, real talk, this looks great. I'm so, this, I don't know if this is my highlight of E3. Like, that may be a little bit of a stretch. But overall, I'm just so, oh my god, I'm so excited. Why are you giving them all to me? Oh. Come on, come on. I wonder if he followed me behind, or... No, he didn't. Okay. So, God, I forgot how much more attention playing ranked takes. So yeah, so yeah, I'm all this stuff. Animal Crossing looks like it's going to be a great game. I have no reason to doubt it. With that being said, there has, in the past, just yesterday, I think, there has been one little hiccup that came up that does genuinely worry me. And that is cloud saves. Shit. Okay, so Nintendo, we pay for this online service. And one of their big marketing pushes with the online service is that it has cloud saves. Okay, Nintendo. Okay, you're making your online play, which up until that point for like a year and a half was free. Okay, that's whatever. I guess every other company makes you play for it as long as you get better, which you really didn't. Okay, so fuck Nintendo. Then, okay, they have this NES game stuff. All these NES games are years old, games nobody gives a shit about. Why are we paying you money for this? Like, it's a genuine question. Why are we paying for these NES games that nobody cares about. It's a real problem. Because, I mean, like, if they start adding other consoles, maybe. But right now, just NES games? No, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about NES games. So that's another tick off the online service. Okay, well, what if they add, well, we've got cloud saves. Okay, you'll be able to back up games. Okay, that's really cool. In case you lose your console, an idea, in theory, I love it. I love it a lot, actually. I've never had to worry about, like, losing a save file or getting a save file corrupted or something like that. But I know other people have. So I get why it's a worry. So that's a cool thing to have. But then you look at the games they support. What's the game you'd really want to have cloud saves for? Well, Splatoon, because Splatoon doesn't back up any of your data on the cloud, right? It doesn't back up any of your data. If you lose your game or your system or whatnot, all your data, all your outfits are gone forever. Okay, that's like, most other games have, like, servers where they keep a player's information, but not Nintendo. Nintendo's the one that doesn't do it. Shit. Nintendo, instead of putting all your data on the cloud, right, so that way they can, like, keep track of leaderboards and keep things consistent, nope, they do it all on console, peer-to-peer. Okay, that's a real problem. But to make sure, but because of that, it's, if you want to, like, rewind time in a game, you can, and you'll just, like, people can cheat and lose nothing. That's, okay, that's something that literally every other online game has thought of, and that's why you put servers online, so that way people can, like, preemptively worry about that. Not Nintendo, so they're turning off cloud saves for Splatoon. Because that way they don't want people to cheat, right? That's bullshit. Right? Like, because there's all this, you're punishing everyone else for the 1% of players that could cheat, and that, in theory, also cheated in the first Splatoon. Because the first Splatoon, you were able to save up your saves on an SD card. So it was fairly easy to do it. But instead of fixing your servers to make it so people can't do this, nope, you didn't do it, and instead people can cloud save backup and whatnot, do all that bullshit. God damn it. Right, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, and a genuine problem, right, with Nintendo. Okay, and if we had raised enough of a fuss, Nintendo would have fixed it. But people complained for a few days, and then just forgot about it. They didn't do anything with it, right? Nothing came out of it. People just stopped complaining, and Nintendo ignored it. You still can't have cloud saves in Splatoon. Fuck Nintendo. Then you get at Pokemon, a game that has your Pokemon people care about, and you can't make cloud saves backups for that one either, because you'll, like, Pokemon's like, oh, you can trade a Pokemon away, then reset your cloud save, and it'll be as if you never traded away that Pokemon. Okay. Who gives a shit? Pokemon have no monetary value if you trade, right? If Pokemon were like, oh, let's say, like, oh, I could give a Blissey and trade it away for, like, $1. That's monetary value. People would take advantage of that. But Pokemon has no monetary value. So who cares if people cheat? People are going to find a way to cheat regardless. But nope, we're disabling cloud saves. It may also be to push Pokemon home, which we'll talk about here in a minute. This is one of the bad things that came out of Nintendo's E3 thingy. Not their conference, but the Treehouse. But yeah, no, that's okay. That's a thing. Fuck Nintendo for that. Honestly, and there's other games that don't support cloud saves. I think Dark Souls doesn't because of that reason. Because I don't know why Dark Souls doesn't. But what's another one? One of the few games I'm honestly amazed Stardew Valley supports cloud saves, because you could totally cheat with Stardew Valley if you wanted to. But no, Stardew Valley actually supports cloud saves. Thank God. Thank God, because that's one of the few games I do want backed up. Oh my god, Nintendo, fuck off. I think Minecraft also supports cloud saves. Another game I would want cloud saved. Yeah, cool. Good for you, Good for you, Microsoft. But Nintendo just fucks up cloud saves around every corner. And I did this entire rant just to get to Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is not going to have cloud saves, because they're worried that people are going to go back in time, right? They're going to use it to manipulate time, or they're going to like give an item to a friend, then load a cloud save and have that item back. Who fucking cares? It's cheating. Yes, I know people don't like cheating in their games, but people are going to cheat regardless. Nintendo the Switch, for anyone who doesn't know, the Switch has a hardware problem where so the Switch uses a Tegra chip. The Tegra chip is built in a way, like there was a design flaw. So if anyone wants to like hack the Switch and put homebrew on it, they can, and freely. It's not hard to do. So all they're doing by stopping people from doing this is screwing over, right? Like homebrew takes effort. Cheating like this would take a lot less effort, but still they're screwing over the 99% for the 1% that's going to cheat regardless, right? And I know more, if cloud saves were available, let's say like 30% of the fan base would cheat. Okay, now you're taking them away to punish the 70% that wouldn't, but now 10% is still going to cheat. People are going to cheat regardless. Who fucking cares? Just give us cloud saves. Fuck Nintendo. You know, the internet sucks in a lot of ways. Don't get me wrong. I hate the internet. But one of the only good things the internet is good at is making a shitstorm. I hope the internet raises hell about this. Again, don't be an asshole. Don't attack the developers. I forgot either of their names. No, don't attack them. Attack Nintendo, the corporate entity. Fuck them. Burn them down. Right? And this is such a small... Assuming Nintendo coded their software properly, which they probably didn't, fixing this cloud save thing, like, we'll get to the Pokemon thing. Pokemon is more complex than this. Bring back the national decks. But the cloud save thing is as simple as flipping a switch, changing a 0 as a 1 to a code. And if they didn't code it properly, getting Animal Crossing to have cloud saves is something Nintendo could do in an afternoon. It's such an easy fix. We can raise hell about this. We can get Nintendo to fix this. We got we got Mario Maker to have friends online. Again, another bullshit excuse of, it'll screw up the rankings. Who gives a shit about the rankings? Just disable rankings. And, like, there's so many solutions for this. Maybe, you're right, cloud saves back up all the time, but if you want to download one of your backups, maybe you can only do it every 24 hours, or every 7 days, or every month. Right? Maybe there's a limit to how many times you can actively download your cloud save. Yeah, it's not going to prevent people from... Yeah, people are still going to do it once a week. But that's still... Right, it's vastly limiting the amount of people who will do it. It takes more effort. Fix your cloud save shit. Please, internet, raise hell about this. Fuck Nintendo. This is such an easy fix. We need to get this fixed. This is something that needs to be fixed. I don't think people are so focused on the National Duck stuff right now, but once we get closer to Animal Crossing's release, I really hope the internet raises hell about this. I want them to blast Nintendo. We're paying for this service. Nintendo needs to fucking fix it. Get this shit right. We failed with Splatoon. We succeeded with Mario Maker. I don't know how Pokemon's gonna go. We'll talk about it. But let's not fail with Animal Crossing. Please, for the love of God, let's not fail with Animal Crossing. And fuck Nintendo. That's my whole rant. My God, it pisses me off so much. Oh, my throat fucking hurts. So, what's the bad stuff that came out of Nintendo? There's some stuff in Nintendo I do not care about. What's it called? There was some stuff like, what was it? There's that Dragon game that's getting remade. Just because, like I said with Square Enix, just because I don't care about it doesn't mean it's bad. So that Dragon thing I don't care about. Empire of Sin, I don't know, I feel like Empire of Sin has a good pedigree, but personally I don't care about it. Right? And then there's, in the bad, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Let's talk about Fire Emblem Three Houses for a minute. Is it good? You know, it'll probably be good. But the new trailer actually really confused me. I do think it'll be good. I do think Fire Emblem Three Houses is going to be good. I'm not picking it up at launch. I'm going to take my time with that one. I never beat Awakening even, so I want to, like, at least, like, beat Awakening or something before I pick up Three Houses. Oh, wow, I'm surprised I killed 2 people. But yeah, so I think it's going to be good, but I'm just, like, I'm tired. It comes out next month. They did admittedly do a trailer that was more focused on, like, the story. Like, I knew nothing about the whole, like, time travel mechanic in the game. I'm just killing everyone up here. I know you may be doing neat stuff, but I'm not. I don't do dance parties. If I'd waited a few more seconds, I probably could have got all 4. But yeah, no, I'm just tired of seeing Three Houses. I'm ready for it to come out now. It feels like it's been forever. It really does. It feels like we've known about Three Houses forever now. I'm just ready for it to come out. I'm ready to stop seeing it. But yeah, like, there's this whole time skip thing where it's like, I thought it was, oh, you're playing at the school and whatnot. But now it looks like, so you do the school for, like, the first half. But then the second half, it's like 5 years later, all the students come back. And now, like, there's a war going on between the 3 countries. That's what it looks like anyways. I can't, like, I don't know. Three Houses confuses me. But it's almost about to come out. I think it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good. There seems to be... I'm glad for the people who are excited about it. I know Fire Emblem fans are kind of insufferable because they like the... Because Fire Emblem fans fall into 2 houses. Post-Awakening and Pre-Awakening. Pre-Awakening fans hate Post-Awakening fans. And I don't know if Post-Awakening fans care. It's super annoying either way. I didn't even know I killed that guy. That's just sad. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know about Fire Emblem. I hope it's good. I hope people who are excited for it get to play it. But yeah, Fire Emblem fans are annoying because the Post-Awakening ones hate Awakening. They hate Fates. I think they like Echoes, which is weird. Not really surprising, but it's weird. But they're just the Pre-Awakening ones are so annoying because they so adamantly hate Awakening and Fates. I'm so tired of it, man. But yeah, so I'm just come out already. Next month, I think it's the 27th. Okay. See, I can get Doom on PC for $12. Oh my gosh. You can get Fallout 4 for $12. I thought you could, well, you could get the game plus the season pass for like $30. Eventually. And then the other bad thing at Nintendo was Contra Rogue Core. This might have been, I mean, I'm not counting Fallout 76. This might have been the worst thing at E3. It looked terrible. With that being said, though, who was it? Was it Game Overthinker? Bob Chipman put it as his, like, biggest highlight of E3. Because we haven't got a Contra game in 10 years. And even though the graphics look terrible, from what I've heard of people who played it on the show floor, it's actually very fun to play. It looks terrible, but it plays really well, which I think is very interesting. But I think it looks terrible. I think it looks terrible. It might be fun to play. And then but yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. That's one of the lowest things at E3 this year, which is ironic coming out Nintendo, which is one of the strongest. But yeah, anything else? Their Marvel Ultimate Alliance, that's just not my style of game. I know there are some people who are like, who love like the brawler, hack and slash style. I don't know why I said I mean, maybe hack and slash. But who love that style of game and are super excited for it. But I don't know. It just, like, as an outsider looking in, it does very little for me. And that's, like I said, as an outsider looking in. I don't know. It could be good. It could be good. I mean, I'm not buying it. My money for games is very limited. I mean, I'm buying Mario Maker, and I bought like 2 indie games this month that cost $15. But yeah, overall, I think the Hero, Banjo, again, the Animal Crossing news I'm bitching about, it's such a small thing, and it's such an easy fix. That's what kills me about it. Like, it's not going to be hard to fix if Nintendo just sits down and fixes it. Thought we could get up that way, I guess not. But yeah, I'm super annoyed about that Animal Crossing thing. And I guess the other low light is Pokemon. Now, a lot of people are criticizing Sun and Moon just to criticize Sun and Moon. Or I mean Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield still looks like a really good game. A lot of the stuff we saw in the Direct last week still looks really great. Right, it's still going to be a good game. But a lot of people are now criticizing it for bullshit just because of the National Dex. So here's how I understand this. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. So during the Treehouse, Masuda said that because before, I thought they were future-proofing all the models for Pokemon. And while they may have done that, they still want to go back and put extra time. And right, each Pokemon they work on, we're now over 800, and after Sword and Shield, we're going to be over 1,000. But each time, right, each model takes time. And because of that, they ran out of time, so they're not going to be able to get every Pokemon in. And as part of that, they decided that, because of that, so the Galar isn't going to have a National Dex. But it's also, Pokemon Home's not going to have a National Dex either. Only Pokemon in the Galar region can be brought over to Home. This is the part that confuses me. I've heard some people talk about this as if you can bring everything over to Home, but you can't bring stuff into game, but I swear what they said on the Treehouse was if it's not in the Galar region, it cannot be brought to Home. That's a big problem. If it can be brought to Home and not into the game itself, I think that would alleviate this a little bit. A tiny bit. So, yeah. So, only stuff that's in the game. And some people are saying, oh, it's because the Pokemon Company is lazy. I don't think that's true. I do think this is like, they wanted everything in there. Based on how Masuda was reacting to it, I do feel like he genuinely wanted everything in. But because they ran out of time, and a lot of people are saying delay the game. They can't delay the game. Pokemon is a multimedia franchise. They've got the movies, they've got the anime, they've got the card game. They've got all these other things to focus on. Delaying the game would screw up all of that. They can't delay the game. Now, if this was 20 years ago, I'd say they should still delay the game. But in the modern world, we can update games. So they can update, like they could do an update every 2 weeks that adds in a handful of new Pokemon until they've added in the complete National Dex. That means they may have to delay whatever's coming out after Sword and Shield, whether that be Johto. Well, Johto, I don't know whether that be a Let's Go Johto, Diamond and Pearl remake, Pokemon Gun, whatever it is. And I'd honestly be fine if they delayed that. But I do feel like they can totally update the game and just add in all the missing Pokemon. I guess Masuda said at some point that they're talking about what to do, especially after everyone's raising an upset. And now, like I said, raising an upset is fine. This is a problem, and I feel like it's fine to complain about it. There are some people who, like, the backlash is saying that, no, you shouldn't complain about it. Oh, how entitled. No, you should complain about this. The problem is directly attacking people like Masuda or attacking the game for bullshit reasons. Like, oh, look how bad the graphics are. Look how lazy the game is. Look how bad the character design is. Oh, even though, like, I've seen Rule 34, man. I know what characters people are drawing. My God. It's to be expected. But no, attacking the game for bullshit reasons just because you're not happy about the National Dex is bullshit. No. And attacking, right, just attacking Masuda or the game's director or anyone, no, you shouldn't be doing that. They're just doing their jobs. It feels like they were trying to get the national decks in, but they just couldn't. However, attacking, like, the general idea that is the Pokemon Company, I think attacking might be too strong of a word, but complaining is fine. Complaining can work, but you can take it too far. And I feel like the internet does take it too far all the time, because it's the internet. They don't have a filter, they've got none of that. They do take it too far, and that's a problem. But like, people will complain about it. Saying, like, and not a protest of not buying the game. I mean, I'm going to buy the game regardless. The game looks good. But I get, like, saying, oh, I'm not going to buy the game because of the national decks out of protest. I totally get that. That's also another valid thing. I don't know how well it's going to work. And, and I think another part, like, for me personally, besides for a few Pokemon, like, I don't have any Pokemons from Gen 3 or 4. All of those have been lost to time. I know there are people who do, and for those people, yeah, no, I completely get it. For the oldest Pokemon I have is from Gen 5, from when I did a Let's Play of Gen 5, actually on YouTube, way back in, like, 2011? Maybe it was 2012. I did a black and white Let's Play. I still have those Pokemon. I caught a shiny Seismitoad during that Let's Play. I know Seismitoad's in the game, so that's cool for me, but I know that's, like, some people may have shinies of, like, Alola Momolo, and Alola Momolo's not making it in the game. I have a shiny Audino. There's a good chance Audino's making it in the game. Right? I have one other I have a shiny Drowsy. I guarantee you every Gen 1 Pokemon's making it in the game. Gen 1 is such, like, a big thing for the Pokemon Company, even though I think Gen 1's kind of overrated, but that's complicated. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it, but my favorite Pokemon of all time is probably going to get cut. Like, I can just tell you right now, it's, like, there's a saying that every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. That is 100% true. I guess Reddit did a survey a few years ago, and, like, with the exception of 5 Pokemon, somebody had every Pokemon as their favorite, right? Like, there were only 5, and I want to say even those 5, like, maybe if they weren't mentioned, but, like, their evolution was mentioned, or something like that. Every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. My favorite is a weird Pokemon. The chances of it making it in are I mean, Seismitoad made it in, so I might be safe, but I'm probably not. My favorite Pokemon's getting cut. I guarantee you that. I can't guarantee, but there's a good probability. And that breaks my heart. And so I guess I do get it. I do get why people are cross about this. I'm also, another thing is, so the first time I played, so the backlash to the backlash, someone was like, oh, I'm glad they're cutting out Pokemon, because that way it's going to make the competitive scene more interesting. Kind of like, I guess, what Gen 5 did, or like what Gen 3 did. But I think that's a bullshit excuse. I mean, the competitive scene's going to be more interesting by new Pokemon, or balance changes, or stuff like that. Not just taking away Pokemon that people always use. And I do want, because when I played Gen 6, that was the first time I did competitive. And because of that, I spend a lot of time breeding and trading competitive Pokemon. And I have a lot of sentimentality with those Pokemon I bred for competitive. So, some of those being lost is going to suck. I want to bring over competitive Pokemon, not to play competitive, but because I have sentimentality with the Pokemon I bred for competitive. I have competitive Pokemon in Gen 7, some of which probably won't make it over either. I know one of all my Gen 6 competitives, I know at least one is in the game. The other 5 I have not seen. I know at least one is in them. And some of them are pretty obscure, admittedly. Including my favorite. Yeah, so I get the complaints. I do think this is a problem. I still think the game is going to be good. I'm super excited. I hope we start getting Koro like monthly now. like where we get 1 or 2 Pokemon a month. That's going to be really cool. That's going to be a lot of fun. But I feel like until Game Freak says that, hey, we're going to update this National Dex thing is going to hang over everyone's head. And because of that, people aren't going to pay attention to the Animal Crossing thing, which I do feel like they really should as well. Because the Animal Crossing thing is a lot smaller, but because of that, it's also a lot easier of a fix. It's a lot easier of a change. I know a lot of people are going to be talking about National Dex for the next months until Game Freak confirms something. But personally, I'm going to keep the Animal Crossing thing. I'm going to keep that in my heart until we get close enough to the release date that I feel like, hey, it's been enough time, we can start bitching and moaning about this, right? Like, because again, it's not like something they'd have to delay the game for. And look at like Friends and Mario Maker. They're not delaying the game for that because we're in the modern day. Well, I feel like updating games should be used sparingly. I feel like in these cases, I'm fine with them not delaying a game, but instead adding updates. And I think people who say delay the game are just wrong. Like, they cannot delay the game, and they never would even consider it. But that's the Pokemon thing, and yeah, okay. So, yeah, that's Nintendo's conference. If I had to give it a rank on the tier list, the beginning was really strong, the end was really strong, the middle kind of dragged a little, and I know people are upset about the Pokemon thing, and I'm upset about the Animal Crossing thing. I know people are upset about the Animal Crossing thing as well, because fuck Nintendo. But where do I put Nintendo? You could make an argument this was one of their strongest years, but I've also seen the argument that this was kind of an okay year. It's weird because I put kind of funny in S tier, and I feel like I should also put this in S tier, but I also kind of want this to be an A tier. Let's put it in S tier. Screw it, I'm a mindless Nintendo fanboy. Fuck Nintendo, let's put it in S tier. Screw it. So our final tier ranking is an S tier, kind of funny, and Nintendo. In A tier, we have Squeenix. In B tier, we have Microsoft. In C tier, we have Bethesda. And in D tier, we have Ubisoft. Also, Devolver was A tier as well. I forgot about that one. So yeah, that's my E3 2019 tier ranking. Best of the show. So let's start off with the worst of the show. I kind of already gave it away. Ubisoft. Ubisoft, you were my worst of the show. You had Watch Dogs Legion, which is admittedly one of my best games of the show, but as a conference overall, you were one of the worst. Same thing with Bethesda. You were my other worst conference of the show. While I thought you were better than Ubisoft, it's only barely better than Ubisoft. Like, barely. Barely better than Ubisoft. Oh my god, they were all there. But yeah, so those were my two low conferences. Any low games? Fallout 76, duh. Contra, again, I heard it plays good, but I'm not sure about Marvel. I mean, I'm hyped for Marvel, but I hear the gameplay just isn't there, which breaks my heart. There's, like, audience members were pretty bad. Games, though. I mean, there was probably some minor games that disappointed me. I can't think of any of them off the top of my head, but I guarantee you there were some. I've named a bunch of games I didn't like throughout the video, throughout the stream, video, whatnot. So yeah, just take those. Those are some of my lowlights, but yeah. Best conferences? Square Enix, obviously. I thought Square Enix did a really good job. Like I said, I put them in A tier. Not everything was for me, but if it was for you, it was a great conference. Devolver, again, their satire of E3 is great. Totally. High thing. Tons of great games shown off. I'm especially interested in their take on the Battle Royale. Seems very interesting. Kind of funny, great indie game showcase. I don't really have a singular, highlight game from them, but there was still tons of great stuff shown. If you're at all interested in indie games, Kind of Funny is more than worth your time. And then Nintendo. Nintendo's taken my best of the show. Obviously, highlights Breath of the Wild, Banjo and Smash, Animal Crossing, all really great with tons of other great stuff. The middle of the show dragged, but it started so well, it ended so well. And that's really, like, that's kind of the key to making a thing like this. Start well, end well, you can drag in the middle. I mean, full 10 out of 10 all the time can get exhausting. Yeah, some other highlights just from random, like I said, Watch Dogs Legion's a highlight. Final Fantasy VII's a highlight. Again, kind of toss up on Marvel. Cyberpunk 2077's obviously a highlight. There's other stuff I'm not thinking of. But overall, if you're disappointed with this year's E3, I totally get it. I kind of am as well. I wanted Microsoft to do better than they actually did. Like, my hopes for Microsoft were really high, and they disappointed. There was still some good stuff, but it was Microsoft, man. They dropped the ball. It was Nintendo's game to lose, and they didn't lose. Nintendo nailed it, but Nintendo's kind of the outlier because they have their console out. Everyone else is kind of like, we're at the start of a new console generation. That's why there's so many games coming out in 2020. There's a winner of E3 2020. I know, Jim Sterling also made that joke. But yeah, I think E3 was okay. Like, I've definitely seen worse years, or at least I feel like I have. I've also definitely seen better years. Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed. As a whole, if I had to give E3 like a ranking out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6. Because while there's good stuff, there was definitely some not so good stuff, and there was just a lot of boring stuff. Stadium shows were also, like, besides for one good moment in Microsoft show, the Stadium moments kind of sucked. But yeah, that's my thoughts on E3 this year. This was, my voice is killing me, but this was, hey, I'm glad I got this all out of the way. Let's see, what do we got here? As always, I like to end off by looking at some stuff. Team Unicorn lost, what you gonna do? The next Splatfest is the final Splatfest. Of course, we will be covering it at some time. I don't know what I'm doing at the time. It's sometime in the middle of July. I'm still amazed they never did anything with this arcade game. I wonder if they were developing something that then just that they just never finished. Yeah, now we're in the end game. Whatever it takes. Chaos, order. The final Splatfest, Chaos. I'm glad they didn't just reuse the Pearl versus Marina, right? That they didn't redo the Callie versus Marie. But they're instead doing something interesting that's probably going to affect the future game, which is Chaos versus Order. I can already tell you right now I'm going to be Team Order. I'm just going to preempt that. I have not won I feel like I've lost every Splatfest this year. I could look it up real quick. But I'm going Team Order. Unlike the last one the last few where I've kind of been like hit and miss, this one I know I'm doing Team Order. It makes the most sense to me. And plus, I've had these ideas. Did I talk about this? My ideas for Splatoon 3? I have a few, to say the least. So, I was Team Unicorn, Narwhal 1. I was Team Time Travel, Teleportation 1. I didn't do Tortoise versus Hare. I probably would have done Tortoise and Hare 1. I won Wizard. Wizard versus Knight. I was Wizard. I won that. I went for Pancake and Waffle 1. I went for Friends and Friend 1. Okay, so... And then I went for Villain and Villain 1. Okay, so maybe I'm not doing as bad as I thought. I've won, 3 of the past, 6. 3 or 4. So, okay, maybe I'm not doing as bad as I thought. But yeah, I'm going Team Order. It just makes the most logical sense for me. Is it going to affect Splatoon 3? Probably. Did I talk about my ideas for Splatoon 3 and the Chaos vs. Order Splatfest? I feel like I did. Maybe I'll add that on to the next Splat and Chat. Maybe, I'm just going to do that right now. But yeah, that's what we're calling it for today. I'm going to get back to playing Blossom Tale. Maybe play some Xenoblade Cry. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. How funny. But yeah, overall, like I said, E3 was disappointing, but I've seen worse. I feel like I've seen worse. Splat and Chat number 20. First, there's not going to be much for Splat Chat number 20, I'll admit. News after E3 goes very barren, but I'm going to talk about Splatoon 3 predictions. Alright, and yeah, that's all I've got. Ooh, maybe I'll play Crypt. I'm not playing Crypt of the Necrodancer. Not yet. Maybe I'll go play Sea of Thieves. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'm tired, man. I gotta make breadsticks tonight. Ugh. My leg still hurts. But yeah, no, I hope you all enjoyed it. I think for everyone who was here enjoying my E3 post, whatever, really interesting, really nice thing to do. I love doing it every year. There's a joke that there's a sign at E3 that's like, see you in 2020, and then it gives the dates for E3 2020. And the joke was, are we even going to have an E3 in 2020? Is it just going to say see you soon? It was a real complaint, because E3 might be dying. I didn't talk about it much. Like I said, a lot of people thought this was a mediocre year, so thinking E3 is dying is actually like a genuine concern. And again, it's like State of Plays, Connects, Directs, Xbox Inside, there are replacements already popping up. E3 as a trade show is needed less and less. I didn't really go into it, but that's a genuine concern that people can talk about. I don't think E3 dying. I'm pretty sure Sony's going to be back next year. Because again, it brings a lot of people to one place. But that's just me saying, I don't know if it's going to go strong, but I think it's still going to go. Yeah, with that all out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.